Okay, guys, we are back for another episode.
What's up, guys? Of the World Record Holding Podcast.
Woo woo!
Yep.
And before we start talking about that, I'll give a shout out to Skill Set Magazine and Ben and those guys over there. And if you haven't seen it, we actually have an article, so make sure you grab it. Check us out. Talking about Travis Wirtz,
Another
Forge
one
and
of our
Fire
boys.
champion.
Another Coolidge native.
Which, speaking of which, Forge and Fire is coming back in the next, week or two, right?
I believe
Pretty
so.
quick. And who knows when we're actually going to put this up live, so it might be 2 days.
Yeah, who knows?
Give or take. So,
Give or take.
So do you want to talk about the book?
Yeah. It's been a really exciting couple of weeks for the podcast and me specifically. I wrote that article on Travis, and with the help of these guys, we got it all sent to the editor and everything, and it's actually in print now. Guinness Book of World Records, Gamer Edition 2017. We are in it for the 9-minute fumble video. What was that, 15? Late 15?
Yeah.
Give or take-ish.
That we posted up and became semi-viral. It's officially the longest fumble in a Madden game ever.
Yeah.
And I would go as far to say as it was probably the longest play in video game football history.
I would definitely say that.
I think they could have gone a little bit further, but I mean, I'm not complaining. This was literally a childhood dream. I remember 3rd, 4th, 5th grade using your book reading points that you got whenever the book fair came. You could always get like a book or two for free. It'd always be the Guinness Book of World Records, and I'd always rifle through it. Like, how can I get in there? What's some stupid thing
Longest
that I can do?
Toenails. I'm coming for you.
I can do something, and I could never figure out a way to get in, and kind of accidentally made it in, and that was just bucket list, dream come true status right there for me.
That was cool. Definitely cool. Especially when none of us asked them to do it.
Yeah.
That was, you found out because somebody told us about it on a video comment, right? On a
Right.
YouTube comment? So that was pretty cool because, I mean, who knew that happened without even applying? I mean, I thought you'd have to,
Yeah, I thought you had to, apply and they check out all the credentials and see if it's real and all that stuff. I didn't know they just somebody like, hey, look at that should be a world record. Let's put it on our book.
And I had a lot of comments.
I'm gonna throw something in there, guys. I think which is almost as big of a feat, or almost more incredible in my mind, is the fact that John himself is not named in it. And as selfless as John has always been, it's the Aimless Adventure Podcast, which I thought that was awesome. Thank you for that, John.
I'm fine with that, and the article and skill set would have been the same way, but they're a legit publication. They're trying to be as real as possible, and they thought it would look a lot better for it to be an author, not a group of any sort. So, I would much rather see.
And I'm thinking with the Guinness thing, it looks like they found it on the YouTube channel, so they were crediting it to the YouTube channel they found it on, which was Aimless Adventure Podcast. Right. As opposed if it had been on your personal channel, like John Binge's YouTube channel, then you probably would have been credited with it in name.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Either way.
Either way, we're in the Guinness World Record book.
Yeah, that's
for video games, not beer.
Yeah.
We're working on the beer one. It's coming.
And, what's great about that is when it took off on YouTube, John gave me a heads up, like, bro, check this out. Like, I'm sure he did everybody else. And then the next thing you saw was on Sports Illustrated. The Arizona Cardinals were tweeting about it. The Carolina Panthers and Arizona Cardinals are going back and forth about it. It's on Extra Mustard on Sports Illustrated's page. It's on, oh my goodness, I saw it on the Yahoo page, USA Today page. I was like, oh my God, dude, are you crazy? This is crazy.
Yeah, it was all over the place. It was ridiculous how quickly it blew up.
Another thing I thought that was cool about that is Odell Beckham Jr. commented on our YouTube video.
Yeah.
You can scroll through the comments and find it.
I didn't see that.
I mean, it was more of a rip on Madden than it was a good job, guys, or anything, but still.
I just remember when you first sent it to me, and it was, I'm just watching you play the game, because the recording went way before the fumble. People don't realize this. And I'm like, what do you want me to see here, dude? You're just playing Madden for 20 minutes and then before the fumble finally happens. He's like, just wait, it happens.
It was the first time I ever posted a video, highlight, whatever you want to call it, from any of the next-gen consoles. And I just assumed that it was what I wanted to show for some reason. And everybody's like, what the hell? What's going on? And then I went on and looked, and it was like a 20-minute video, and I was like, okay, we need to do something about that.
So did you Did you already just happen to be recording it, or how did you end up?
With those, you have like a 30-second delay, I think, that you can hit go live or post or whatever you want to, and it does the last 20, 30 minutes of whatever the hell you did.
That's cool. I meant to ask you that since you did it, because I was curious if you managed to go back and catch it, or if you just happened to be recording, or how that worked out. Because that's the worst thing about stuff like that is, a lot of times if you don't just happen to be recording every damn thing you do in your life, you're not going to catch that really cool moment that you really want. You know what I mean?
And that was one thing that the new systems did really well. The video game systems, they give you that option of capturing what you're playing. So if you did do something awesome, you're like, oh, I can still record that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have times where I'll do something like 3 or 4 minutes later, I'll be like, why didn't I record that? And I got to go in my options. Like, no, go back like 20 minutes and save that because it was awesome.
Yeah, it's like I have a dash cam in my truck that's always recording. And if you, it just goes until it's full and then loops and records back over itself. And it has a G-Shock sensor. Like if you hit like 3 Gs or something, it automatically saves it as a crash file so that it doesn't loop over it. And then also it's got a save button. You can hit it to where you save whatever. You see something cool, you can hit it so it won't record over that or whatever. And it usually works pretty good. But the other day we saw a big old wreck on the 202 coming back from the valley. And of course I reach up and hit the save button. And when I get home, I realize that it's saved from the instant I hit the button on, instead of capturing backwards. So it was just absolutely nothing. I don't know why.
So I just got myself driving.
Yeah. I mean, I paid like $34 for it. I mean, I don't expect a lot, but still, it sucked.
Definitely. So, while Hooves with us, he's the only one I think here that actually saw WrestleMania. I think we all kind of wanted to, but schedules and stuff didn't work out. You want to fill us in a little bit? Little preview. I brought Nikki to hang out with John.
Absolutely. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I was debating on coming on because I think KDJ knows and John knows that the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania is probably one of the most volatile, hostile crowds there is in wrestling history. Because they have everybody from all over the world there. So apparently Roman Reigns' show. And the announcers had the viewing audience at home because there was actually an audible "fuck you, Roman" chant going on at the arena tonight.
I can't say I blame them.
Oh, I thought the end of that match last. Well, okay, I'll get into it. WrestleMania 33, as it was last night, or the SA termed it and publicized it as the ultimate thrill ride. The 2-hour pre-show opened with Austin Aries versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship, which was a good match. I didn't think they'd let Aries go over. They didn't, but it was a clean finish. Then they went into the 20-man, or probably not just 20. I don't know how many people they had in that damn ring. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which I think Rob Gronkowski.
I was about to say, didn't Gronk show up for that?
Yeah.
Gronk helped out his ex-teammate Mojo Rawley in that, and the crowd popped huge, even in Florida, for Gronk.
How did Gronk do in the Royal Rumble?
No, Gronk wasn't in it.
Oh, okay.
He just helped his buddy out.
But it wasn't a Royal Rumble either way.
Basically, he did like Ronda Rousey did in San Francisco 2 years ago. Showed up, made an appearance, everybody knew who he was. Big pop, you know? But he looked good. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he is.
Then, which I didn't like, and I think John and KDJ, I'd like to get your opinion on this. They originally SmackDown Women's Championship was scheduled for the pre-show. They moved it up to the main card, and they bumped the Intercontinental Championship match between Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin to the pre-show. And to me, the Intercontinental Championship is... That's how I learned to love that title, was at WrestleMania, a la Steamboat Savage, WrestleMania 3, you know, and now it's relegated to the pre-show. And Dean Ambrose was just in a match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania the year before. Dean Ambrose was the champion. So I don't know how indicative that is to say, well, this guy's lost his stock and the title doesn't mean that much, whatever. I was just kind of disappointed to see the IC title on the pre-show. I'll get your thoughts on that, John.
My thought on that is, I don't mean this in any disrespect to wrestling fans at all, but the weight of belts and the weight of performers and gimmicks and ideas and stuff, usually lies more in the hands of the Federation than anything else. If they're bumping that title, bumping that title to pre-game, whatever the hell, the prelims, then the WWE is saying that belt isn't as important as it used to be.
Yeah, but that belt isn't important to let Pitbull and Flo Rida have 15 minutes on the actual pay-per-view. That's what kind of makes me
Boo,
mad.
Charlie. Boo.
I would say that it's a bit of a disgrace to the history of the belt, though, when you take that into effect. Because, there's been some champions, Intercontinental champions, that have been big names throughout the history of the Federation. So that's kind of just a blow more to what the belt has meant in the past than anything else, than who was fighting for it this time.
And also, the Intercontinental title, to me, like the WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt and WCW, any Federation's championship, the belt goes to basically the popularity contest. Who's the biggest heel or biggest face in our industry right now?
John, you're absolutely right. Think about this. You think back in the day, the Intercontinental title for WWF back in the day, when it was just 3 titles. You had the wing belt, you had the IC title, you had the Tag Team Championship, and the WCW you had the NWA Championship, or later on the World Heavyweight Championship, the U.S. title and Tag Team Championship. The U.S. title was a primer for guys like Magnum TA, and Lex Luger.
I'm glad you said Magnum TA. That's awesome. Him and Dusty Rhodes were one of my favorite tag teams.
Great tag team.
Kurt Hennig and Bret Hart. Let's see kind of how the merch sale is going to go.
Yeah, to me the IC title and stuff was legitimate performers like Dean Malenko's and stuff like that might not win over a crowd, but they put on a show.
Yeah, it was a way of recognizing those guys who are the workhorses of the federations and are really solid wrestlers, put up great matches. Like I said, they might not be the biggest baby faces, the biggest heels, the big names, but they're the guys who solidly come in night after night and put up great shows, and that was their reward. That's the belt you go for. I always
thought the true workhorses belt was the WCW Television Championship. Because those guys had to defend it on Clash of Champions, WCW Saturday Night, WCW Main Event.
If it was on tape, they were defending.
You'd always see, Arn Anderson, to me, is the greatest television champion ever. But, guys like him and Tully Blanchard, and in the later years, the winning years of the television championship, William Regal, they were on everything defending that title,
Real quick, if Charlie's still watching live, he wants to know why the Hardy Boys shouldn't even be wrestling.
You know what? The rumor was, and I think KDJ can back me up on this, is no rumor here. The Hardys finished up with TNA. It's not TNA anymore. Now it's officially Impact Wrestling. Dixie Cook has nothing to do with it anymore. Billy Corgan's still suing Dixie Cook's Panda Enterprises, the parent company of TNA, for so long. But now the people in charge of Impact it's back to Jeff Jarrett, Bruce Pritchard, Brother Love, as some of you may know him. I think Vince Russo is helping with the writing. But Jeff and Karen Jarrett are back in power. Bruce Pritchard's back in power. Basically Impact's going back to what TNA was originally. But they couldn't. Their finances are all a scramble. Billy Corgan tried to take Billy Corgan, as you may know, frontman of the Smashing Pumpkins, huge wrestling fan. Very good, creative guy when it comes to wrestling. I think he ran his own organization out of Chicago. Forgive me if I'm misspeaking here, but the finances were just so jacked up. But TNA, I got to call it Impact. They're not TNA anymore. It's Impact. Their biggest acquisition right now is Alberto Del Rio, or it's Alberto Del Patron, because you can't use Del Rio because that's WWE still. Whatever. I'm getting off on the rant here. But the deal with the Hardys was the Hardys have kept that organization in a lot of money. So you guys were giving me question marks when I say delete.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy have come up with some of the craziest, most entertaining stuff on the indies that you'll ever watch. So I'll tell anybody, YouTube broken Matt Hardy. YouTube brother
Is that
Nero.
that weird artistic battle in the forest?
Oh my God! I mean, they did it at their house. They did it at their compound in North Carolina. And it's just what they got to do when they got the free reins. You know how crazy, artistic Jeff Hardy can be. Just face paint, and persona, and all that. And he makes music.
It's a guy that makes
Matt
the
Hardy
jeans.
kind of developed this broken Matt Hardy character. And he comes with this cadence. He's kind of like a mix between, oh my God, King Booker and Lord Alfred Hayes and me and Mr. Fuji. When it comes to the way he'll start doing cadence, and it's like to him, it's not Mr. McMahon, it's McMahon. It's just the way he enunciates in his cadence, and oh my God, just them doing the indie circuit for so long, along with their work in TNA, they've really developed these awesome characters. So that's, when they popped out last night, number one, it was great to see the Hardy Boys back in WWE, walking into WrestleMania in a ladder match for the Tag Team Championship, which was, that would have been great on its own. But to see the fruit of their labors, you'd think like, if it's not the WWE and it's not part of the WWE universe, nobody cares. Oh, no. In Orlando, the home base for Impact Wrestling, my God, those people went nuts. And as soon as they came out, all you heard was delete, delete, delete. And if you want to watch some of the most entertaining, funniest interviews and great skits, and honestly some of the best wrestling you've seen, you've got to YouTube it. You've got to see. The Hardy Boys, dude, they're hitting their prime now. So, excuse me, to answer Charlie's question, why are they still wrestling, I watched the after-show interview with the Hardys about a minute long. And Jeff Hardy goes, hey, man, I'm 39 years old, and I still jumped off a 20-foot ladder. They're the Hardy Boys. They're a brand name, just like The Rock, just like Stone Cold Steve Austin, just like the Macho Man. And people were hungry to see them come back. They've been very active throughout the years just because they've been on the main stage. These guys have been in Ring of Honor. They've been to Japan. They've been everywhere. They're winning gold everywhere. Right now, they're at their apex. I mean, if I could tell anybody, if you want to watch wrestling right now and be entertained, watch it right now, because Matt and Jeff Hardy have some stuff planned out. Honestly, with Jeff Hardy's broken persona, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a major title run in WWE as a solo performer.
That's one thing I was going to say is I agree with you. The Hardy Boys put on some great shows that I've seen, and that was just mostly WWF and a little bit of the TNA and other side stuff and everything. But I don't know that the Hardy Boys are the Hardy Boys without Jeff. Matt is not bad, but Jeff makes that tag team a viable thing, if you get what I'm saying.
Jeff is the frosting to the cake. You know what I mean? Jeff's always been the more popular Hardy Boy, without a doubt. There's no argument to that. But I really think the fact that, number one, he's cleaned up. Jeff's cleaned up. And anybody that knows about Jeff Hardy in the last couple of years, he's had his issues with his demons and stuff. But Matt Hardy's been the one that's pretty much carried the whole deal and came up with the broken persona and the delete and obsolete and all that. So Matt Hardy's kept them relevant. And I honestly believe, I think you guys are going to see something new to where, and you can see it in Impact and their indie shows where Jeff kind of takes a back seat and he lets Matt do his thing. Matt Hardy right now, I think he's got the greatest persona, the greatest gimmick in professional wrestling. Broken Matt is just awesome. And like I told you, I really think from watching last night's WrestleMania, I'll get back to it, the plan is next year in New Orleans, it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Universal Championship. Because as of right now, the only two people that have a win over The Undertaker at WrestleMania are Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. The fans aren't buying Roman Reigns. They don't want him. But Vince is going to try to shove him down our throats. I would like to see some kind of movement with a la Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton versus Batista at WrestleMania 30, to where the fans are just so overpowering, like, hey, we don't want Brock. We get he's a legit badass. We never wanted Roman Reigns, just because he's The Rock's cousin. Don't shove it down our throat. You saw what you did. You saw what we did when. Here's the difference between The Rock and Roman Reigns. The Rock has a personality. Cardboard standout. Like, I could do a better Roman Reigns interview standing behind his cutout where you can see the guy. And he is at cutting promos.
Isn't Roman Reigns?
Let it organically happen. Let Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy, because you know how popular Jeff Hardy is, but the WWE Universe has not seen Broken Matt Hardy yet. So, oh my God, let that happen. Let it happen. Why not let Matt Hardy go over next year? Let's see what happens in a year's time.
Isn't Roman Reigns the name of the bad guy off of Gone in 60 Seconds?
I don't know. I think Vince McMahon went to
isn't that the main character?
Peter Parker. It's got to be
Isn't
Peter
that
Parker.
what's his face?
It's got to
Nick
be
Cage.
Stephen Strange. Or it's got to be Roman Reigns.
Oh, he was the Reigns. They were the
They were
Reigns.
the Reigns brothers.
I was thinking the guy with the accent, the bad guy that was
who likes the
smuggling.
wood.
I was thinking his name was Reigns.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're right.
I can't remember his character name. That's Christopher Eccleston. He played Doctor Who for the Ninth Doctor for Doctor Who, and then he was the bad guy in there who liked wood. Like that was the whole thing. Like don't mess up my chair, man. I'll let you live. Just don't smash my wood chair I made.
So I'm in the middle of Homeland last night, watching all about conspiracies and governments out to get you and shit. And all of a sudden we get this message from Terry that has no context whatsoever. Delete, delete, delete. I was like, fuck! I thought I had to jump up and go clear my hard drive or something.
Endless Adventures under attack.
Well, that's fun, and it's funny that Brian was actually the one that came up on our messaging thing. Goes, it's got something to do with the Hardy Boys. Like I can almost hear his voice, like, fucking Terry. Something to do with
At
the
that
Hardy
point,
Boys.
when you put the delete on there, it had been so long, I forgot I had even asked about the Hardy Boys at that point. Because it was a minute before you came back with that, and we had talked about other stuff, and I completely forgot I'd even mentioned the Hardy Boys when you did that. And I was like, what the hell's this delete shit?
I was like, oh no.
But just to give let me capsule WrestleMania last night real quick. The New Day, they got the crowd to pop, what have you. They're fun to watch. The open with Shane versus AJ Styles, good match. Surprise it opened. Shane did his usual Shane shit.
Did he jump off the Titantron again?
No. He did the coast to coast. AJ Styles tried it first, and Shane hit it. And then Shane missed the elbow from the turnbuckle to the announce table. So I don't want to go into everything,
I got a question. How slow was the Triple H match? Because his match is...
I thought that was
apparently
too long.
Triple
They
H
let
is a
that go
beast, and
way
Juice does a body
too
good.
long.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just know that
Because
his match has just gotten kind of slow and methodical. Not much, quickness to them anymore.
All it was Triple H going after Seth Rollins' knee the whole match.
Yeah, because he
And
had the
you'd
bad
wait-
knee. Did it, give out on him at any
you'd
time or
wait to see
anything?
Seth Rollins, you'd wait to see Seth Rollins hit his spots to show his knee was still healthy. But they just let it go way too long. There was a lot of... I guess if he was really hurt, Seth Rollins, being the one I'm talking about, there was a lot of rest holds. But, when he hit, Insiguris, he hit his Phoenix Splash, Seth Rollins did, I was like, this guy, man, if he was really hurt, they wouldn't let him go in there, So Seth Rollins, Triple H, it was nice to see Seth Rollins get the win. It bolsters him, but it went way too long.
I think probably the best part of that match was Stephanie going through the table. Did you guys hear that? At one point, Triple H got thrown into the ropes, and Stephanie McMahon was standing on the side, and he slammed her, and she went backwards into a table off the ring.
Oh, no kidding.
That was the best part of that match, I think.
So would you say Stephanie went down?
I'd say Stephanie went down.
Nice.
What was that, Terry?
Yeah, the way she went down, her elbow, going down was pointed downwards. So I don't know if she got it you don't want to hit the ground with your elbow just being a straight point. You want to kind of lay flat like they teach you or whatever. But the way it looked, I was like, oh my God, she just got effed up.
She kind of went. She went she didn't go on. She went sideways down into it like this, right into the side of the table. It was a weird angle the way she hit it.
That happened to John one time when he was
Yeah,
going down.
I thought for sure her elbow got jacked up.
Elbow.
Yeah, John had a real bad elbow injury from going down one time.
But that was, I think with Triple H at WrestleMania,
you got to watch your angles,
with
man.
him,
Thumbtacks. It was crazy.
I look more forward to his entrance than I do his match. Just like I look more forward to the Undertaker's entrance than I do the match. And just to like I said, encapsulate WrestleMania last night, I did the whole show. Oh man, and the Hardys kicked it up. The Hardys kicked it up because I wanted one of two things. I wanted two things to happen last night. I got one of them. I wanted the Hardys back, and I wanted Hulk Hogan back. And right now they're saying they're not going to bring Hogan back because of the Page leaked
Diamond Dallas Page?
scandal.
Which scandal?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said Diamond Dallas Page?
Paige. No. Paige. Female WWE superstar Paige.
Oh.
They're actually shooting a movie about her. The Rock's company, 7 Bucks Productions, is shooting a movie about her. But apparently her phone got hacked, and it shows her and Xavier Woods from the New Day, the guy with the crazy hair, Austin Creed on Up, Down, Down channel, and another guy that was let go about 2 years ago, Brad Maddox. And they're having adult encounters and having fun with each other all together.
Apparently not nude, though.
I don't know, but apparently, they don't want, because of Hogan's deal with Gawker and the Bubba Love Sponge, all that crap with the sex tape, like, man, we can't bring him back right now because now we're going through another sex tape scandal with one of our superstars. So Hogan he's coming. He's going to be back on TV soon, but they're thinking it, they wanted to do it last night, but they're not going to do it because of what's going on with the other superstar. So, yeah, I give WrestleMania last night, I give it a 6 out of 10. I thought the Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match was perfectly paced. It was heavy-hitting, hard-hitting. Here you go. You got to see the spear. It was just spears, suplexes, F5s, and jackhammers. That's all you wanted out of those guys.
And that was pretty much all it was.
Over 10 minutes.
Really? Well, I just want to add congratulations, John Cena, on your engagement. And
Yeah, because that was so spontaneous. It's not like the E-cameras for Total Divas were taping that or anything, right?
It doesn't matter. They
knew.
No engagement is spontaneous, man. Every time it's planned. But
I planned the shit out of mine.
Exactly. Also, I'd like to say, as much as I hate to see him go, I sincerely hope that Taker takes some time and doesn't worry about wrestling anymore. I sincerely hope that he actually retires.
That he really moves on from it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in the business since 1984.
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's when he first started with WCW. 1984. It's a long time to be wrestling.
Well, my buddy I had over here, the one guy that showed up to watch it with me.
They're throwing a little dig at us.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
It was kind of last minute.
Ooh.
My wife wouldn't let me.
Yeah, mine neither.
No, but he's more of just a WWE fan. He's like, man, Undertaker's been at this, and he's a very educated WWE fan. He's been at this since WrestleMania 7. I was like, yeah, that was his WrestleMania debut. That's not how long he's been in the business. This man's been in the business for a long time.
Yep.
And John, I know KDJ and John will both say, what was the team? He and Sid Vicious. What was the name of the team? Yeah, I'm stumped right now. I said it last night, and I can't think of it now.
Damn it, I
think
can't
it was
remember.
him and Sid Vicious initially, and then it was Dangerous Dan Spivey, and then Sid Vicious.
I can't remember.
Was it that one with those one guys?
Yes.
Yeah, that
was
one
it.
over there.
Leave it to Danny. But you were talking about watching Homeland the other night. We started watching 13 Reasons Why.
WCW/NWA, he did a circuit around the country with Lex Luger for the U.S. title. That's how far back the Undertaker goes. Like, way before WWE.
Yeah, he's with the short red hair and. But yeah, 13 Reasons Why on Netflix. We started watching the other day, and
I haven't seen it yet.
It's
Kind of slow.
It's a little slow. It's a really cool idea, and I love the storytelling, how it goes back and forth between when she was alive and when everybody that's survived around her continues on with their lives and stuff. But I'm really wondering, has anybody else seen any of it?
No, I have not.
Every episode, it feels like, I'm hoping that the writers are doing this on purpose, but it's about this girl that committed suicide, and she released these tapes. She had a trusted friend pass them to somebody. They listened to all the tapes, and every single half of a tape is calling somebody out and saying, you're the reason why I committed suicide, and here's the reason why. And it's not necessarily one event. It's all 13 events in a year or whatever was just too much for her. And to me, you start out with like, oh man, this poor girl, she was tormented and this and that, and she was a troubled soul and everything. But every single episode, I feel like she's less and less the victim. Like, she is doing things to other people that objectively are as bad as what they're doing to her.
Mm-hmm.
And
is it literally like, hey, I'm going to kill myself. Can you hand out these 13 videotapes afterwards? Yeah, no problem, homie.
pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up.
Actually, they explain it in the show, and it doesn't really give anything away, but spoiler alert, she drops off the tapes at her trusted friend's house.
Mhm.
And he said that he didn't go out and talk to her because she's always drama, and he just wasn't feeling it that night. He didn't want to hear about somebody that did her wrong or grabbed her butt or stared at her tits or whatever. He just didn't. He just wasn't up to
Whoa,
it.
John, a woman creating drama? No way.
Hey,
You're talking out of you're talking out of your ass.
I hear it happens sometimes, but he just didn't want to deal with it. So he just didn't answer the door. But he saw her leave a package, and he goes out there, and it's these tapes with a note saying, "Listen to these tapes, and you'll know what to do." And he started listening to the first one, and he's like, holy shit. So he calls their house, and nobody's answering, runs over there, and it's too late. She's already
I
gone.
gotcha.
So he
That's
didn't
what
know
it is.
in advance, really.
I saw. It looks like a cool premise, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool.
I just started watching though, thanks to Ben posting all of his pictures of hanging out with Omar Epps and Ryan Felipe for the last week or however long it's been.
Omar Epps, one of my favorite actors in the 90s.
Yeah.
The program was awesome.
So I hadn't had the chance to check it out yet, but it got me paying attention. So I started watching Shooter. Was it USA? I believe
Mm-hmm.
the new series on USA, and I've watched the first.
Mr. Robot.
What's that?
Mr. Robot?
Mr. Robot.
Mr.
That's another series.
Oh.
I mentioned a different series.
I watched the first couple episodes of Shooter, the first season of Shooter, and that shit was pretty good. If you've seen the movie, it's very similar, the premise, at least for the first few episodes so far, but definitely very good. I've been enjoying it. It's very good.
I killed it. He was only 2.
But yeah, if you get a chance, check that out. For show.
Another show that we started watching was it on Amazon or on Netflix? The Masterpiece.
Oh, Mystery Science Theater 3000?
No, is it a new one or is it the
It's
original?
the originals.
The original. Oh, so
Yeah.
good.
Yes,
So good.
But it's new to her.
Oh,
'Cause I've never seen
and
it.
that's the best is seeing somebody who's never seen it before experience it.
I think I chuckle more than her, but still.
Yeah, so good. That is a masterpiece right there of the show.
I think what adds to the humor of that, though, is you have to have been awake for like 19 hours to watch it because what it come on like 2
2 o'clock in
a.m.
the
Oh
morning
yeah,
or something,
It was ridiculous.
So when you're when there's a fairly low likelihood that you're sober and that you haven't slept, it definitely
Midnight High in full force.
It definitely adds to the humor.
Definitely.
Well, I want to interject there. Netflix latest offering, Iron Fist. I thought it had me for a little bit, and then I just it kind of flipped everything on me. I thought the son of the guy that's alive, he's trying to get his shit together, but Danny Rand's losing his shit. He can't find his chi, and he can't go back to Kunlu or whatever the fuck he's doing.
The more I watched it, the more I wondered, did these guys ever read the Iron Fist comics? Because it started to... in the beginning, I was okay with it, but as the series went along, I started to get kind of upset about the way they were portraying some things.
I'm seeing this guy who's Iron Fist, supposed to be the baddest martial artist on the face of the earth. He can't whoop dudes like Daredevil can? What the fuck?
Yeah, we were huge fans of Luke Cage, not Johnny Cage, because it's not.
I'm a fan of Johnny Cage too.
Mortal Kombat.
Fan of Johnny Cage. Shadow kick.
But I knew Luke Cage existed. She had no idea.
Luke Cage is a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show was awesome. It pulled us in.
Oh, yeah.
The storytelling, the
That was the
action,
same way me
everything
and my
was
wife watched
great.
it too.
And when I heard that they were coming out with...
I think some of the producers did like Quentin Tarantino did. They said, you know what, we're going to base this off the soundtrack. Because the soundtrack to that show was fucking impressive. I love that soundtrack.
It's okay.
Well, no, like Quentin Tarantino listens to music, and he writes his movies based on, he puts the songs in, like, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, you look at Quentin Tarantino's movies, if you watch any of them, Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, any of them, even the Grindhouse movie. Death
Grindhouse.
Race. There's a lot of songs that you're like, oh, that's a good song. I haven't heard that in a long time. But that's how Tarantino writes. I mean, I'm not lying to you. Check it out. And Luke Cage spit that mullet. It made me feel gritty. Like, this is Harlan. This is the deal. You know what I'm saying? Jessica Jones, like, with the suspense and everything going on with it. Oh, that's awesome. Daredevil, he's getting his ass kicked. He feels everything. But Danny Rand is supposed to be the Iron Fist. I think they totally, completely miscast Danny Rand.
That was my probably biggest complaint is I didn't buy him. He
wasn't for sale.
He didn't feel like a superhero. He didn't feel like a badass. He didn't seem like an actor. It just, I don't know. We were so excited about the continuation of that universe.
The build up to the Defenders is what we're going towards. We're going to get there next.
Well, yeah,
and we checked out.
That's a great point, KJ, because now I'm sitting there thinking, like, how does this guy fit in with legit badasses in grimy, the Marvel Underverse superheroes?
Well, yeah, that's part of it because he's, he lives that high life. He's, he's rich. Yeah, that high life too. Yeah, but he's rich. Everything's clean, skyscrapers, penthouses. So it doesn't mesh with everything else. And the only reason that they do go together is because of the comic origins of the Heroes for Hire when Danny Rand and Luke Cage started their Heroes for Hire service.
Right.
And that's the only reason why the two are together because of the old comic book stories. But in the new setting and the new way they're telling the stories, he just doesn't fit right now.
Yeah. And we might
end
up finishing it.
My deal watching that show, and I stopped watching it. I just wikied the rest of it. I was like, okay, that's what happens. Great. Because I was just like, I got bored. I didn't buy him. I didn't like him. I didn't want to see him on screen anymore.
I mean, the only reason to finish it is only for the Defenders connection ends because this is leading right into the Defenders show. That's the only reason to finish it.
I've seen enough people say that.
My main deal on that too was what captivated me the most was, okay, how are you going to prove who you are? How are you going to prove that you are who you say you are? Like once that was finished up, with the cameo with Carrie-Anne Moss and her warrior firm coming in and saying, okay, we're gonna take your case, we're gonna prove that you are Daniel Rand. Once that was done, I was out. I was like, okay, now it's Daniel Rand. Then everything starts getting fucking ridiculous. And I was like, okay, I'm out. Fuck that.
I've seen enough people say that they haven't finished it, or they've lost interest, and I probably won't even bother trying.
No, get the Cliff Notes.
Yeah. Just to read up on it.
Get the Cliff Notes just so you know the high points. That way, when Defenders comes out. And we'll see. Maybe he'll fit better in an ensemble than he does on his own.
I'm hoping.
Maybe Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage can carry that.
I mean, as long as Luke Cage is on the screen, I think it's going to be okay. But I don't know.
Well, I wonder when they put Luke Cage and Jessica Jones back together. Because they obviously had we got introduced to Luke Cage and the Jessica Jones. Or what kind of tension will there be there, as far as, sexual tension, romantic tension, as far as between those two characters, because
they could just have sex
they
and drop
tore
the
down a
tension.
hotel building or an apartment building, the time they were together.
It's never that easy.
Yeah, but I mean, Luke Cage has already moved on, though. So.
Well, every time I feel tense, I have
That's
sex.
why.
Okay.
Sometimes I even do it with a partner.
Well, Danny Rand can buy him a new building. He's got money.
There you go. That's just the hard part about fitting him in. Like in the comics, it kind of worked with the way they did it, but nowadays, just him being so super rich, he's not a millionaire, he's a billionaire. Didn't he say that in the show? Like that's so much money.
It's a lot of money.
Because you see how an ultra rich guy is going to work with a kid from the Bronx in the Spider-Man trailers between Tony Stark and Peter Parker. That's organic. Okay, you get it. You see why. You see why Tony Stark went, seek skills out for everything that happened in Civil War. It just comes together because Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr., it is Tony Stark. And this new kid, Peter Holland, he's nailing Spider-Man every which way.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's the difference between cinematic universe.
Front ways, back ways, sideways.
Spidey ways?
Spidey ways. Hey, it's a Spider-Man.
I think they should have a collaboration with Tony Stark and Peter Pan.
Ooh.
Be a really good one right there.
That'd be interesting.
And that leads to a question like, will the Marvel Netflix universe ever tie in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I don't think
so.
I don't think they'll ever do that. I mean, the only one who could really cross would be Daredevil, and I just don't see that ever happening. There was a lot of talk about that with the Avengers coming up. Would Daredevil be the one who could cross into Infinity War with the next Avengers? But I don't think they're ever going to cross the two. And I think I like the way they allude to what's happening in the Marvel movies in the TV universe. Because, they've talked about that, New York being destroyed by the Chitauri attack and all that stuff. So I like that, but I don't think they're ever going to mix.
Okay.
I like them not mixing. I like having two separate worlds, so you can always have that little taste in between summer blockbusters kind of thing.
Okay, the Luke Cage, Iron Fist, etc., Defenders world is Daredevil's universe, right?
Yeah.
Are we going to see a reference to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I don't think
That's the same. It's the same.
it's
universe.
the same universe, but I don't know if they're gonna include that. That's the great thing is they can pick and choose right now. I don't think they're
at least
gonna
have April O'Neil do a
do
newscast,
a newscast somewhere. I mean,
Or
they
Casey
could do a
Jones
little
appears.
nod.
Yeah.
That could be because they're always throwing
Well,
the Easter eggs in like
who has
crazy.
the rights to the Ninja Turtles right now? It's IDW,
Nickelodeon.
right?
Nickelodeon owns Ninja Turtles.
has Ninja Turtles, right?
Uh-huh.
So I don't think that it'll ever happen just because of who owns what and what would have to be worked out here and there. I mean, look how much trouble there was just getting Spider-Man into the MCU because Sony owns them, not Marvel.
Yep.
Marvel doesn't own the movie rights to Spider-Man. Sony does.
I think Nickelodeon's a little bit more. Sure, you can use them. Just give us $20.
I don't know. I mean,
They're all over the place.
They're trying hard to make these Ninja Turtle movies, so I
Yeah.
don't know if they will or not. We'll see.
I could totally
But
see Netflix.
I think if Nickelodeon sees that, these are really popular, and these people that don't necessarily watch these crappy Michael Bay movies might actually watch them if there's referenced in this show.
Imagine this is what I always do. Imagine what a Ninja Turtles Netflix series would look like.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking Casey Jones could totally have his own Netflix series without the
definitely.
Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
Because that could totally be on the
I'd watch
Cage
it,
caliber.
maybe.
Well, I mean,
Depending on
right,
casting and stuff.
Well, I mean,
If
you
they
look at
cast it
all
right,
the
I think you
spin-offs
could-
that are happening just from. I mean,
Yeah.
first you had Daredevil, and then from that you're getting then you're getting Jessica Jones, you're getting Luke Cage, you're the Punisher is getting his own series off now. I mean, he played a great Punisher. The Punisher was great in Daredevil.
But
Like-
ladies and gentlemen, right there, John Bernthal is a Punisher. When he was locked up in prison, and he goes through the whole row of inmates, from being working corrections for 20 years, I'm like, fuck, I wish I could have done that.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many spin-offs now, but I mean, you could see there's just so much you could spin off the Ninja Turtles too. With I mean, Casey Jones could definitely carry his own series.
Yosaki Ojimbo.
It would be
everybody
funny.
loves the rabbit.
Yeah.
That would be funny. as shit
They
if,
could do a Splinter prequel.
Who's the duck? Ace Duck. Remember the duck pilot?
No,
No, I don't.
Look him up. He was part of it.
I remember DuckTales.
Yeah,
I remember DuckTales.
Woo!
Sorry.
We got the new DuckTales series coming out soon. That I'm hyped for. Oh my
Really?
god! Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, the voice cast for the new
And
DuckTales
that's
series
why
is
they're like, oh, let's
amazing.
get this pilot duck. For Ninja Turtles.
I didn't know they were coming out with a DuckTales.
Oh yeah, they're
series.
doing like modern, like
Who's
a new
doing it?
modern retake. Disney doing a new modern retake of DuckTales.
Really?
And the voice cast is just amazing. So many, you gotta look it up.
Let me ask you guys something really quick. So I'm gonna let you go after we have this conversation really quick. I gotta let you guys go.
We have never had a conversation really quick.
No. Well, this is a roundabout question. We've seen the shared universe cinematically work.
Right?
A la Marvel. DC is trying to make it work, which did anybody see the new Justice League trailer? I thought it was very underwhelming.
I have not.
Oh yes, I did. I saw the Justice League trailer. It came out the same week as Spider-Man. Spider-Man kind of overshadowed it. It had some good. It had
absolutely,
some
looks way
highlights here
better.
and there, but I did think it was a little underwhelming as well. I mean, compared to
And so-
Homecoming, Homecoming's trailer was just blew it out of the water. I think.
Who comes up in the... Go ahead, Terry.
I'm sorry. Now, Universal Studios wants to reboot the classic monsters.
They
And
want
I
to
don't
do
know if
what?
anybody's seen the trailer for The Mummy starring Tom Cruise.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple episodes ago about the Universal wants to do their connected universe of all their classic monsters.
So, has anybody heard about the casting?
I heard Tom Cruise was in
Tom
The
Cruise
Mummy.
is in The Mummy. There's a couple trailers out already if you want to see him for The Mummy, so they already did that. But I haven't heard any casting for any of the other monsters yet.
Well, you've seen Russell Crowe in the Mummy trailers, right?
Yes.
You know who he's playing, right?
No.
Dr. Jekyll.
Really?
Okay. See, because like I said, they were trying to do the connected universe, so they're bringing in some of their other guys into
I heard
these
that
movies.
John Cena is going to be the Invisible Man.
Oh my gosh.
You know the
Well,
biggest
the
thing.
Invisible Man has been cast, but it's not John Cena. It's actually Johnny Depp.
How would you know?
Touche.
It's Johnny Depp. That'd be cool.
Best thing about John Cena jokes, you never
Never
see him coming.
Well,
If you've
John
watched the
Cena's
Mummy
actually
trailer,
take time off in the ring right now because he's going to shoot a movie with the guy that played the CO in Suicide Squad, the guy that got the candle stuck up his ass and the sisters or whatever. They're going to do a movie called Parents where they're trying to chase their kids down so they don't lose their virginity on prom night or something like that. And but as far as let me get back
Sounds
to
like reverse Trojan War.
Those monsters, it's supposedly Dracula Untold was supposed to be the reboot of the whole Universal Monsters,
Yeah, that was the start of it with Dracula.
but it underperformed. So Universal's saying, "Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that shit. That's not Dracula." So this movie, The Mummy, is supposed to be the kickoff with Russell Crowe playing Dr. Jekyll / Mr. Hyde. He's going to go in his own movie. Johnny Depp has been cast and signed as the Invisible Man.
I'm sure that's going to piss a lot
Javier
of girls off.
Bardem is in talks to play the Frankenstein monster. And I'll go around and have a question with you guys right now. They're going to do the Wolfman. Who do you think Universal's hiring to play the Wolfman?
Michael J.
And I'll
Fox.
start with you, Helen. Go ahead, Helen.
I don't know what the question was.
Who would they hire to
aiming
play
at,
Wolfman? To do a Wolfman reboot. Really, you could do anybody because he turns into a werewolf. So.
I have a pick.
Well, I don't know how his English is, but how about my boyfriend, Andre Arlovsky?
Yeah.
for monster
you
movies,
go.
you don't have to have great English.
John, you said you had a pick. I'm curious. Who would you say?
I don't know his real name because real names are stupid, but Alcide from True Blood, and he was in the Magic Mike movie.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh no, he's gonna be Deadshot. He's gonna be Deadshot. In the
Really?
Batman
Yeah,
movie.
in the Batman solo movie.
Okay.
He's Deadshot in Batman solo movie.
Yeah, his stage name is Sofia Vergara's husband.
Nice.
You know
What
who
about
I
that
could
guy?
see doing it honestly is The Rock, just because they plug him into all kinds of shit like that now. So it wouldn't surprise me.
Joe Magliano, John, that's his
Yeah.
name.
That's
Okay, yep.
What about that guy that does?
You can't get two guesses.
I get two guesses.
Cheater.
No, I'm special.
Okay.
The guy that does. I don't know what his name is, but is. Oh my god, I can't even
How can you
think.
not know his name?
Game
Now-
of Thrones.
One guy that does a show.
Khal Drogo, dude.
Khal Drogo?
Yeah.
Who's the Aquaman?
Yeah.
Oh,
that would
yeah.
be good
Oh.
too.
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, yeah.
Yeah.
See, that was my first
Okay,
thought
Jay-
too when you asked, but I'm like, he's already doing so much shit. I couldn't see him doing the Wolfman as well.
Guess what?
Chicken butt.
Danny hit it right on the head because Universal Studios wants Dwayne Johnson for the Wolfman.
Nice.
Dang.
Good job.
Luck.
I am pretty amazing.
Because, I mean, Dwayne Johnson, you've ever seen an SNL skit? I'm the franchise saver.
Yeah.
This little skit, little song.
If he's in it, I'll watch it.
You know,
I'm
my-
sold.
I mean,
My big
I'm ready
complaint
for
about-
Jumanji, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be cool.
You know?
My big complaint about that's what made me think of it, honestly. But my big complaint about the Mummy trailers that I've seen is that the big thing that the original Mummy had going for it is, I mean, it was a
Brendan
good action
Fraser?
flick. Yeah, that too.
So one of her boyfriends.
It was a good action flick, but it was really, I mean, they had the comedic action. You know, it was funny.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise does not have that ability, and from the trailers, it looks like they took that element out of the movie altogether. At least from what I've seen in the trailers, it doesn't look like it's going to be that comedic action anymore.
No,
Well,
they're trying to make it a little more
They
serious.
released the second trailer for it the other day, and it looks like Tom Cruise might be the link through all of the movies.
Oh,
I'll
God,
let you
I
guys
hope
check
not.
it out and see it because Russell Crowe's character, Dr. Jekyll, makes a big thing like she's after you. You're the link or something like that. But I mean,
Kind of the way
Universal put
Robert Downey
together-
Jr. linked everybody through the MCU.
So I wouldn't
Right.
mind that
For
actually.
But for Universal to put together a cast that is Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe. Oh yeah, I forgot. Creature in the Black Lagoon is supposedly going to feature Scarlett Johansson. Early talks.
Yep.
Scarlett Johansson,
I thought the creature
Dwayne
was a guy.
Johnson.
No, it'll be the person the creature's after.
Johnny Depp.
We mentioned this when we were talking about it, when I talked about that one time.
Universal's
Scarlett
looking at
Johansson.
the Fast and the Furious. I think they've got 2 or 3 more movies scheduled coming through that pipeline.
Yeah.
But they're already looking like, okay, we gotta have more tent poles. So they're like, hey, what's better than let's bring back Dracula, let's bring back Frankenstein, let's bring back the Mummy, let's bring back, the
I had a
Wolfman,
tent-pole as soon as you said Scarlett
if you
Johansson.
bring heavy hitters. They
You're
are
probably not
taking
alone.
this shit very seriously. Like,
There's 3 of you in the room.
these are our kind of characters. Let's put some big names behind them, just like Marvel did. So good on them. Do it right. I hope it's good.
I don't know. I am a fan of casting. I don't know. Correctly,
Yeah.
than using a big name every time.
You don't mind the casting of like
'Cause, I
the
mean-
unknowns. Like, I mean, look at the new Spider-Man, not.
Yeah.
I keep going back to
Find the
Luke-
person you think will
Luke
play the
Cage.
best as opposed to just bringing in the biggest name
A
possible.
la Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. Who the fuck was Hugh Jackman before X-Men?
Oh yeah,
Right.
he was nobody.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't mind Tom Cruise, but I definitely think it could have been done better. But I mean, to his credit, though, I mean, for the most part, he plays the exact same kind of character in every movie, but he typically doesn't have an unsuccessful movie. And I mean, for the most part, if he's in it, it's a pretty good watchable movie.
I asked that question, Danny, and you
Right.
answered the way I feel. I said, do you ever watch a Tom Cruise movie and believe he's playing that character, or do you think it's like, oh, this is Tom Cruise in a different situation?
Exactly.
Yeah, we stole that question. and
He's-
used it.
Yeah, he's like a rogue spy that just runs through 100 different scenarios. So
He's always
probably
running from something in
Yeah.
a movie. The fact that he's gay, maybe?
He's always going to
No,
be like,
you know what?
Wait,
This is-
was that Family Guy?
Tom Cruise's movie career is akin to Jack Bauer in 24. How many different situations are you going to face in a fucking day? You know what I mean?
right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be a decent movie, especially a good theater movie, no matter what, if they put that kind of star power into it. But
Here's my take. I think the idea of rebooting the Universal Monsters is a good idea. I think the idea of making it a connected universe where they're all interacting with each other is a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think give them each the best movie you can for the individual character. Don't be trying to make them pop up in each other's movies and be a part of each other's thing.
I
It's-
agree.
This
huge
isn't the
right
fucking
now.
Monster Squad.
I agree and disagree. Yes, it should be completely individual, but like Danny said, that's what's big right now.
Mhm.
I think they should have tie-ins, not necessarily appear or know each other.
it doesn't
But
have to be chapter
the crier
2.
that says, "Oh my God, there's a werewolf," and the next one he could be Dracula's victim or something. I mean, something that ties each movie together. But if you don't know, you might not notice.
Like you were talking about, like
Well,
with the whole
guys, we've
Netflix
seen it
series, if
once
April
before.
O'Neil was really in
We've
each
seen
one of them,
the
giving the
Hodgepodge
newscast,
before,
that'd be awesome.
And that was Van Helsing. And I thought that movie completely blew ass.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it wasn't fantastic, but I liked it.
No, I mean, but the Frankenstein monster didn't get his thing, and the werewolf thing was like a sub-story, and I like Hugh Jackman in it, but I mean, think about all the monsters they shoved in that movie. You got the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you got Frankenstein's monster, you got Dracula, you got the Wolfman,
But
you got
They
the
had to.
vampiresses or whatever.
they had to. That wasn't going to be a 7-movie series.
No.
Yeah.
But I want to go back.
That was their plan though, because Hugh Jackman hit so good as Wolverine. Like, fuck, this guy's a top tier, top of the move poster talent. That was a huge. Universal put a lot of money into that because they wanted that to extend back and let's reintroduce people to Dracula. But I thought that number one, Hugh Jackman was the only good part about that movie. I thought because he's good in everything. I think. But, subpar casting for Dracula, for the Frankenstein monster, and the Wolfman was just horrible CGI, but that was their way 10, 15 years ago whenever Van Helsing came out. Was like, let's do a big summer blockbuster, and maybe we can, people get interested in Wolfman or Frankenstein's Monster, and then we can spin these movies off and do origin stories for these creatures. And Van Helsing just didn't perform to do that.
But they had to pack it as full as they could to hopefully get the numbers to go ahead and do those spin-off movies. If they would have just done Van Helsing versus Dracula, it would have been horrible.
I think it would have worked better if they would have done that. Let Van Helsing spread the movies out to where, this movie is Dracula.
We would have never seen the other movies.
They could have linked that very well, but they shoved all the monsters into one fucking movie and it didn't work.
I don't know. I don't think it would have worked, Van Helsing versus any single one of those monsters. I don't think at the time those type of movies would have worked if they didn't throw all of them into one, blow their load, and say, okay, let's call it a day.
A lot of it is timing. Like, you got to hit it right. Like, I mean, like the Marvel movies came along at just the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You go too earlier than that, and they might not have worked.
And by next summer, you're going to be able to throw any monster into a movie, and it's going to be a big deal.
That Van Helsing movie next year is a hit.
Yeah, like you got all that stuff going on, and then Kong just came out, and that whole series is going to start. You're going to see Godzilla come back. You're going to see Mothra come back. Probably going to see Kong appear in all of them, because I don't know for sure, and I haven't read anything on it. Just from watching the teaser, I think that Kong is going to be the connecting character in all.
Danny, I can confirm to you, if you watch Kong Skull Island and watch the after credit scene, yes, it is the Godzilla movie from 2 years ago in Kong Skull Island. And that's going to be a shared universe. Yes, they're going to go with the monsters.
No, I mean, I know it is. I just think that Kong's going to appear in every one of them. I think it's going to be like the old Godzilla movies, where Mothra is going to pop up and they can't defeat Mothra, so they go find Kong and get him to come help, kind of thing.
Like, Kong is going to be this generation's Godzilla.
Right. That's what I think. Or maybe Kong and Godzilla will both be kind of good guys in their series, but
I want to rewind real quick.
Well, what's funny about that? You talked about it back in the day, like Danny talked about those particular movies. There was Godzilla versus King Kong back in the 50s or 60s. I can't remember. There were two endings shot for that, and for the Japanese audience, Godzilla won, and for the American audience, King Kong won. So I'm just kind of curious to see what they'll do on that.
I've always been a Godzilla guy over King Kong. But
I was too until this most recent one. That was an awesome movie.
I want to rewind a little bit and talk about you saying Tom Cruise, everything he's in is a watchable, decent movie. And it brings up a question that I've posed to, I'm pretty sure, just about each and every one of you. Is Tom Hanks really as good of an actor as we think he is? Or is him and his crew just really, really good at picking movies?
I think it's both, because I think, unlike Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks is who he's.
Tom Hanks. You see you see
the character he plays. You don't see Tom Hanks, whereas you see Tom Cruise.
But he's also picky about the roles he takes. So I think he's a really, really good actor. I think he also is just smart enough not to take shit.
Right.
So
He knows when to say no for the most part.
I think what I look forward to in a Tom Cruise movie is the fact that
when he rips his face off and he's somebody else.
Damn. Like he's the Jackie Chan of American filmmaking. He'll do his stunts, which is cool.
Right.
Like when he did Days of Thunder, I think that's the only time I thought, okay, that's Cole Trickle. Not Tom Cruise, that's Cole Trickle. But
so it's not Dick Trickle? That's what I'm feeling right now.
But when it comes to Tom Hanks is more endearing. Like when Tom Hanks was Forrest Gump, that's Forrest Gump. That's not Tom Hanks. That's Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
So I would actually go with Tom. And Tom Hanks, man, I think he's won it a million times over. Some poll they do. America's favorite actor.
I am the captain now.
I'm not
people
challenging.
Love Tom Hanks. He's a familiar face. He's part of Americana. It's apple pie, hamburgers, and Tom Hanks as far as the movies go.
I'm not challenging the fact that Tom Hanks is a great actor. I agree with that. But do you think he's making these movies great, or he's choosing great movies to be in?
I'm with Danny. I think it's a combination of both.
Both.
I think his acting is elevating what's already a great movie.
He's
Okay.
not.
To what's already a good movie. Any other actor would be a good
That is
movie.
such a riding the fence answer, Kevin.
He's not-
Kale.
What-
He's not a.
What
he's-
would be a good movie? He's making a great movie with his acting. Is
He's
what I
not
think.
a fully rounded actor. You can't see him doing a Tom Cruise part.
Right.
You're not going to see him bailing off of a skyscraper in Dubai with machine guns in
And
his
he's
hand.
not going to take any of the Rock's roles of
Right.
coaching a high school football team and
Yeah.
you know.
But
Well,
then again, I don't
although-
see
although-
a Tom
although
Cruise
if
or The
you
Rock
look
being able to
back-
take some Tom Hanks roles.
A role that he had like that, Tom Hanks, look at a movie called Road to Perdition. He was a badass in that movie. He was a hitman in that movie.
He was, but he was like an old school hitman,
It was a
like
calm,
gangster
laid-back
days.
hitman.
Yeah.
It wasn't the
He
transporter.
wasn't jumping through the air, double guns blazing,
Yeah.
turning backflips.
Well, let me ask you this. You look back and you see Tom Hanks kind of start off as a comedic actor,
Bosom buddies.
but exactly, thank you,
Mm-hmm.
with Peter Scolari. But for him to elevate his game, you don't think Jim Carrey wants Tom Hanks' career? But goddamn, how did he do it?
Oh, he tried. Jim Carrey tried to transition into that more, being
His-
able to take other roles other than
He's
just
one of the, he's one of the few people that his
comedic
serious
ones.
roles I preferred.
yeah.
The Majestic and the Truman Show I think are way
See,
better.
yeah,
than
he
The
tried, and
Mask.
people just didn't. The masses didn't grab onto it. But
Yeah.
yeah, the Truman Show was. I thought it was really good.
I liked the Truman
I've
Show.
watched that
but
a few times. The Majestic was also a really good movie as
Yeah.
well. But
I
people
couldn't
just
stomach it. I couldn't
Really?
even
you
watch
really,
it.
but
Yeah.
people just they could not see it. They couldn't let go of who Jim Carrey was to see
He
him
was
as
good
an
at
actor.
numbers.
Like Stifler.
Yeah, numbers. That was an
And-
interesting one. Numbers
Well,
numbers
when
three
you
for
think
a
about
minor.
that, you go back to
Nobody
think
did
about
it better
Robin
than,
Williams. Everybody thought Robin Williams,
Robin
jumping
Williams.
too dramatic, was weird, but Robin Williams was a Juilliard-trained actor.
Hell, he improv'd Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, pretty much the whole movie.
Which is one of his best
Robin
movies.
Williams,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
The
so
Fisher
good.
King is still one of my favorite movies of all time.
Which
I
one?
love that movie. The Fisher King.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The one with Matt Damon, Good
Good
Will
Will
Hunting.
Hunting. When he was
Good Will
the
Hunting.
Good Will Hunting
psychiatrist.
and 1 Hour Photo was probably my favorite movies from him.
1 Hour Photo. He played a good.
Oh my god, good Psycho.
Good creepy ass dude,
Oh,
man.
dude, so against type in that movie. Like, I was so impressed with him in that. I was like, holy shit, I was
Yeah.
scared of him in that movie.
That was 100% proof that he could do anything.
What was the one with Al Pacino where they were up in the up in Alaska or whatever?
Oh
It never got
my
dark.
God, not 30 Days of Night, but like it was something to do with how
The-
Alaska
yeah.
has.
Yeah, and
30
like
days
yeah, and Al
of light,
Pacino was
30
up there
days- I
like
can't think
looking
of
for a
it.
killer or something, and like just the way it was always light was fucking with his mind. And but yeah, he played another good villain in that one. Rob Williams did.
But again, like you guys are saying, it's like okay, yes, certain actors can transcend certain roles, but you know if you put Sylvester Stallone in any movie, you're like, well, fuck, that's Sly. You know, I think the best performance Sly ever gave was a movie called Copland. I don't know if any of you guys ever saw that. It was
Yeah.
really good.
Mhm.
Great cast.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know. I just back to the original question. I think the big difference, like Tom Hanks, I don't think he could be a superstar in any movie. I think there's definitely roles where if he took them, you'd be like, yeah, he's fucking ruined. And and he knows that. He knows what his limits are. But
But isn't that the case with any actor though? Almost.
Not
Not Adam
all of
Sandler.
them.
Adam Sandler would take just about anything. He's like, yeah, I could
Well,
be
no,
a
I'm
serious
no,
great
I'm not
actor.
saying that they could, that they wouldn't try.
I could be
But I'm saying,
Shakespeare.
isn't it the case with any actor that there's certain roles they
Oh,
should not
yes,
take?
Definitely.
yeah, but
Some of them
But
will
see,
still
though,
take them because they don't give a
real
fuck.
quick,
They want
Tom
that
Hanks.
paycheck.
yeah, but that
But
that
every
range-
actor, there's
Silver.
range that they should not step into.
But that range is a lot bigger for some.
Yeah.
His range is
Is
a lot
more-
smaller, I think.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, and Will Smith, I think, could handle just about anything you throw at them and make it watchable.
Now, I disagree
I
with Jim
think-
Carrey. I think his
I
series
think
movies
Will
suck
Smith's
bad.
greatest performance was Hancock. I love that. I love that movie.
That was a great movie.
That was one of my least favorite Will Smith movies. Yeah. Well, they're usually spot on with movies.
And
dude.
it's funny because The Rock is like not exactly a lot
The
of
Rock
people,
is coming up there.
The connoisseurs of movies wouldn't necessarily put him in the top of the list as actors, but I think
he's done a wide range
he
of
can
stuff.
He has
anything.
a serious range, though,
Yeah.
man. You
Yeah.
look at the stuff he
He's
did.
hilarious. He's
Look
a
at the
good
stuff like what
action
he did,
star.
like playing the straight man in The Rundown.
Yeah.
Stifler, so
that
great.
fucking movie was great.
But then
Oh, freaking Walking Tall.
Walking Tall was great too. And then look at the part he played in what was it? Get Shorty, the sequel.
Yeah.
Be
You
cool.
want to see how good he is?
Yeah.
Watch The Rundown. He was so subdued, but still hit the comedic pieces in it, hit the serious pieces in it. But I'm gonna throw it out to you guys. And we talk about who could be a chameleon in a movie. To where, are we watching Tom Cruise to see Tom Cruise? Are we watching Brad Pitt to watch Brad Pitt? Are we watching Tom Hanks to watch Tom Hanks? You know who a true fucking chameleon is and a great actor? Robert Downey Jr. I buy everything he does.
Other than the superhero stuff as of late, I don't know.
Yeah, he's almost like Tom Cruise to me. I see Robert Downey Jr. in damn near anything he plays.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
as Iron Man, I
As
kinda see
Iron
Robert
Man,
Downey
he's
Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, don't you kind of assume that he's like you see that stark look on him? That's like you almost think it's like Iron Man is Robert Downey Jr. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
like really, he actually is Iron Man.
Or you see Robert Downey Jr. in the Iron Man role, and you're like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. had court.
Yeah.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. Much respect for turning your life around and stuff, but before that, it was pretty rough.
Oh, yeah.
The Sherlock Holmes franchise and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
See, and I'm not a big fan of his Sherlock Holmes.
It was watchable.
It was okay,
good
but I
enough.
didn't think that. I'm surprised that they're making a third one.
Yeah,
I
like-
just didn't. Wasn't that big of a fan of it, and I was hoping so because I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan. I was looking forward to it. I just didn't really. It didn't hit me.
To me, those movies,
Okay,
the
so,
Sherlock
let's-
Holmes series
let's
was
talk
great for
about
Sunday
type-
afternoon
what-
television.
The word that we're talking about right now is typecasting.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks. Brad Pitt is Brad Pitt. Now, there's another movie coming out this summer that
Hold on.
nobody's really
Hoove,
talking about.
real quick. I want to cut you off. I think there's a difference. Typecasting is if
Stifler.
Christopher Reeve and Stifler do anything else, they're Superman and Stifler.
Yeah. We just talked about how The Rock was in the rundown with Stifler.
But not
No,
being a
you're-
convincing
you're-
actor,
you're
just seeing
lining-
the
you're
actor
lining right
is
up-
different.
You're
I
lining
think.
right up to my next question. Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy is going to be King Arthur. Is Charlie Hunnam just Jax, or does Charlie Hunnam have a chance at a big screen career?
it's going to be
You're
hard to
lining right
say
up to my
until we
question.
see it, but I think he could totally have a big screen career.
I've seen a couple of previews and it looks legit. And we watched Pacific Rim, and I was able to see past Jax almost like
And
5
also,
minutes in or
the
something.
part that helps
Yeah.
him there is that Sons of Anarchy was a big thing, but it was still a TV show.
Yeah.
You know, it's you can break away from a TV show part and going into mainstream movies and not have that follow you as that character so
10
much.
years from now, you might not be able to say that.
Yeah, I'm saying that I agree with. But right now, you can still break away from a TV show and go into mainstream movies and not still be that character you were from the TV show. You can build yourself a repertoire forward from there.
Right.
Definitely.
Whereas, like if you start out as a big hit movie, you're always Stifler.
That's like Nick Cage. I like him as an actor, but yeah, he falls into that everything he plays. You can kind of see Nick Cage, but it's a good thing that
But
he.
he's
didn't
also one of those
take
actors
Superman.
we were just talking about who can't say no to a fucking
Yeah.
movie. He will play.
He's like-
you put a script in front of him, he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
He would probably sit in with us.
Yeah, he would if we asked
If he
him.
would have been pickier about his roles, he probably would have been much bigger
Oh, yeah.
eventually. Yeah.
But I mean, the thing though about him though is he's always working. He's always
He's-
making money. He's always putting movies out
he's-
because he says yes to anything.
Well, goddamn,
Great.
dude, check this out though. That guy was so hard up to play a superhero though. When they cast him as Ghost Rider, initially I thought before the first one, okay, cool, I get that. He's been wanting to play a superhero. He was supposed to play Superman years ago.
Right.
A great documentary on Showtime they've been showing the death of Superman, where they show where Tim Burton was going to direct. Kevin Smith has talked about, he was consulted
Multiple
initially to write
times he
it
wrote
for
the original script for it. Kevin Smith did, and then after they greenlit it, Tim Burton came on and he said, "Well, I'm going to write my own script because I'm Tim fucking Burton." So Kevin Smith was out at that point, but originally Kevin Smith wrote the original script. Warner Brothers liked what he did with it. and said, "All right, we're going to make this
it
movie."
was,
And that's when they brought Tim Burton on.
Producer that shot everything down because he told Kevin Smith, "I don't want him to fly."
Oh yeah, the Barbara Streisand's hairdresser.
And he's got to fight a giant spider.
Yeah,
And
Barbara
the
Streisand's
producer
hairdresser
flew out
came
a
in and
giant
fucked
spider
all
and
that
put it
up.
in Wild
Mecha
Wild
Barbara
West with
Streisand?
Will
Mecha
Smith.
Barbara Streisand. But yeah, he was a big time producer, produced Wild Wild West with Will Smith and a bunch of other stuff.
It's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
I think was it Joel Silver?
No, it wasn't Joel Silver. I know the guy's name. He did
And
did
Will
main event, the Barbara Streisand
Will
boxing
Smith
movie, and
turned
some other
down-
things.
Will Smith turned down the role of Neo in The Matrix to shoot Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Which is probably a really good thing for us because I don't think he would have
Yeah.
pulled off.
Well,
the
Kevin
Matrix.
Smith was talking about when he's originally writing the script, he's sitting down with this crazy producer, and the producer's like, in the third act, I
You
wanted
probably
to
would have
fight.
said the same thing about
this-
Keanu Reeves if he didn't do it.
Maybe.
Probably. But he's like, I want Superman to fight this
Totally
giant
not
fucking
true.
spider. And Kevin Smith's like, okay. He's like, do you know anything about spiders? Because they're the most deadly animals in Animal Kingdom. And Kevin Smith's like, okay, whatever. And then after later, like a few years later, he goes to watch Wild Wild West. What happens in the third act? This giant
big
fucking
mechanical
mechanical spider
spider.
shows up. So he's like, that's that
Yeah.
dude. He wanted this giant fucking spider. He got it in one of his
Dude,
movies.
Wow.
Warner Brothers dumped so much money in the pre-production of that movie. KDJ, what they spent? I think they spent like $30 million just for rewrites, costume testing. Fuck, dude, they spent a shitload of money for a movie that was never made.
For Superman Lives. There was a lot for that.
But
The
it really
costume was
doesn't.
shit too. Did you see the costume pictures?
Yeah.
Oh my god! You can see screen tests of Nick Cage in the Superman costume, and it is
It
fucking
sucked.
bad. It is a bad costume. There's nothing
Yeah,
good
I
about
agree.
it.
There seems to be some type of
Yelling or crying?
Terry,
Yeah,
are
I'm
you
sorry,
in
that
the
was
middle of an
busy.
accident
He-
scene?
Are you okay?
Sorry
Wink
about that.
once if you're okay. I don't know if you're okay.
Can anybody hear how many times he winked?
So I wanted to talk this week a bit about some Star Wars. There's been some interesting Star Wars things coming down the pipeline.
What's the Star Wars you speak of?
It's this little indie film series.
It was actually the most successful independent film in U.S. history.
That would make sense.
So far.
Yeah, so far.
So far. But yeah, no, there's been some interesting Star Wars news I want to talk about. I mean, first off, tomorrow for us, everyone else, when you guys watch this, Rogue One will have come out on, Blu-ray, DVD, Laserdisc, VHS.
Laserdisc.
Yeah.
Beta?
Betamax.
Nice. Betamax.
Taking it back old
Slightly
school.
better quality than VHS. but
Slightly, Brian will finally be able to watch it on any of those releases.
No,
But,
pick it
at
up at Blockbuster.
A Blockbuster. And, and as John can tell you, excellent movie. Even if you're
Oh.
not a Star Wars fan, if you're just a good movie fan, watch Rogue One.
And I know I'm kind of a
Jackass.
slacker. Yeah, jackass. Star Wars fan. But Rogue One, my favorite so far. I'm not afraid to admit it. It was such a good movie.
It's definitely up there.
Excellent movie. So, first thing, little spoiler, if you haven't watched it yet, you might want to fast forward ahead a little bit.
Just keep listening until we say restart, and then you'll be good.
Yeah. So,
Restart.
one of the big reveals at the end was Carrie Fisher show, the young CGI of the young Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher
Getting
and
the
stuff.
info.
The late, great Carrie Fisher. Well, the thing now is that there was just an interview with the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, and they asked him, well, Carrie Fisher passed away. What are you going to do about her role in the new Star Wars movies?
They're gonna
Episode 8, Episode 9. Are
They're
you
gonna
going
go all
to CGI her? And he said, they already finished principal filming of 8, and she's all throughout 8. But they're not going to change anything in 8 to make up for her death. And they were going to change the story, and they're not going to do a CGI of her. They're not.
Really?
Yeah, he said we're not going to go that route with Carrie. We're not going to do a CGI to explain her in Episode 9.
I wouldn't see it as much of a, we gotta not do that to Carrie, as much as I would like for them to tell the story the way that they wanted to tell the story, and if we get that much more Carrie, I would be fine with that.
See, and I felt kind of the same way too. But yeah, he said, we're not going to go that route. We're not going to CGI her. So I mean, the one in Rogue One was really good.
Yeah.
Like it was really, and a funny story about that. After they finished getting that all filmed and all together, none of the crew knew about it or anything because it was all CGI done later. They had it on a laptop. They took it to Carrie
I mean, they
Fisher's
don't
house.
do CGI live.
No, they don't do CGI live, unfortunately. But they had finished it already, and they took it to Carrie Fisher's house, and they showed it to her to say, hey, look, this is what we're planning on doing. How do you feel about it? She did not believe that it was
James Earl
CGI.
Jones take him over there?
Yeah,
With
James Earl
Sheldon?
Jones did.
Okay.
But she thought it was actual like B footage from the original filming. She did not think it was CGI. She thought that was really her.
Wow.
And they're like, "Oh, you guys found some old footage that B rolls or something where I said some stuff. That's awesome." And they're like, "No, this is computer generated. This is not you." And she didn't believe it.
If you
I'm with
compare
them.
it to the most famous recent comparison, the ending of the Fast and Furious when Paul Walker was CGI'd in, is 8 billion times better than that.
Way better
it was
than that.
it was cool that they put him in there, but it was so obviously fake. It wasn't even funny. I mean, it just very, very obvious. But it fit. There was nothing wrong with it. It
was a Fast and the Furious movie.
It was
after
a
all.
good tribute.
Yeah.
But it literally looked real in Star Wars. You couldn't tell that it was fake.
Yeah, that it was her, and she couldn't tell either. She literally thought that was old footage of hers. But
I wasn't sure myself.
Yeah, it was so well done, and like it wasn't even her voice. They didn't even use any of her voice. They had the woman who did the voice also did the face capture. They had the little so the lips would sync.
Oh yeah.
But then they superimposed Carrie Fisher's face on her.
I think it would have been great if they would just used audio from the originals and cut it up. So I hope that you will find the info you gave me.
I'm sure you can find those lines, but yeah, that was. But that's the decision they've made. They're not going to do and I thought that was interesting. So they're going to have to change whatever part she had in episode 9. They're going to have to find some way to explain why General Leia is not there after she's supposedly she's all the way throughout 8.
And see, which we have no idea what 9 is going to be like. So
Yeah.
that could have been a very small change.
Exactly. Yeah.
We really don't know. They probably weren't planning on.
And if
having
you
her in
wouldn't have
there
said
a
that,
ton.
I might not have noticed, but that's depressing to me right now.
Sorry to bring you down like that.
It's all right. I'll be all right.
I don't know. I mean, as good of a job as they did, if they could continue to do that, I mean, realistically, it would have been CGI anyway, right? I mean,
Because she's playing a younger version of herself.
they had it in Rogue One. She was CGI.
Well, yeah, in Rogue One she was CGI, but I mean now we're talking about now if they did an old version of her for the new movie, because she's passed away, she can't play her part. But I mean, that was one
but
thing.
what he's saying is the Princess Leia in episodes 8 and 9 isn't going to be the, I'm sorry, Carrie, 50 or 60-year-old Carrie Fisher or Princess Leia, would it?
Well, that's what she is right now. Like what she was in Force Awakens.
Right.
She's General Leia.
That's
But-
right.
So yeah,
Okay.
no, it's still
Yeah, I was
it's still
thinking
her.
Rogue One,
Yeah.
Rogue One, she was
No, yeah.
way
Rogue
younger.
One, they did the young version of her. Now
That's
she's
right.
playing
It's
her
back
older
to normal.
version. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they're saying it would have been an old version of her CGI just to so they could still have her in the movie, and they're not going to do that. Another interesting thing he also said in the same interview, he talked about the Han Solo movie coming out. And here's some little nuggets he dropped on: is that the movie's going to follow Han Solo from age 18 to age 24. It's going to show us how he got his famous ship, how he met a certain Wookiee, and here was the weird drop: how he got his name.
Really?
So, is his name not Han Solo?
Well,
Guess not.
it's his like.
I like how he's being all cryptic. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a spoiler that Chewbacca is that Wookiee and the Millennium Falcon is that
Yeah.
ship.
I think
It's not a
No.
spoiler at this point.
And that's how he worded it. He's like, we'll find out how he got his famous ship,
Wow.
how he met a certain Wookiee, and then how he got his name. And I'm like, so
I
that
get
was
the
a big
getting the
drop
name
for
thing
us.
though, because in theory, I mean, they're kind of half-ass criminals. So
Yeah,
it's
so was that
probably-
like his
It's
smuggler
probably
name?
his alias.
Exactly,
That he
his
came up
alias
with.
is Han. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll find out how he got the name Han Solo.
Interesting.
I wonder if like somebody handed him a Solo and he's like, or a Han rather. I'm sorry. I just ruin that whole.
That whole. You want to start
Never
that over
mind.
again?
No.
Let's
Right.
rewind it.
It's like somebody handed him a Han. He's like,
That was a great solo.
Thank you.
Boom.
Wait.
Han Solo.
Was it
works.
Haven't they casted that already? Didn't
Yeah,
I hear
they've
something?
already cast.
The Rock, I think.
The Rock.
For Han Solo. Though,
And Tom Hanks is playing Chewbacca.
yeah.
Nice. He never turns down a bad role.
Never turns down a bad role.
I thought I heard something, but I don't remember.
I can't remember the guy's name, but they have cast that whole movie. They've cast Han Solo. They've cast, Lando Calrissian and everybody. They have a new guy playing Chewbacca for that movie. It's not Peter Mayhew. And so yeah.
What
But-
about
Please tell me that Lando is being played by the guy from.
Donald Glover's playing Lando. Just end it for you right
Really?
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Donald Glover?
Yeah.
The dude from Empire. Looks sort of like he could be a.
I know who you're talking about. He
Gooding.
could have done a good Lando.
He was about the right age for what Lando would have been
They
at
should
that
just
time.
use
But I think
Hart.
Donald Glover's going to do a good Lando.
I don't know.
You know, I don't. I think he'll pull a good one off.
They should just use Kevin Hart.
I just thought they should just use Billy D. Williams and CGI'd him. So
What about
Touche.
what about the Boba Fett movie? Have they given
No,
anything
that's
around
still
that
that's
yet?
still real early. Still real. There's not much about casting. Not much about they're still being real cagey about Boba Fett movie.
I'm fascinated by him. I'd like to see the story just for the fact that is there a more famous Star Wars character with such little screen
No,
time?
there's not.
No.
I mean, he's so famous for virtually nothing.
Nothing.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, that's
Very little.
Couple of lines.
Couple,
here and
yeah,
there.
he had a couple of lines here and there. He had a couple, shots, but he's, he's one of the most famous Star Wars characters. And I think that could be an awesome movie. Just a badass fucking space bounty hunter. Fuck it up. And then the last little thing I had Star Wars movie, Star Wars news. Star Wars Celebration is coming up in a couple weeks. It's the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. They're doing the Star Wars Celebration.
May the 40th be with you.
May the 40th be with you. In May, they're doing the Star Wars Celebration in Orlando. It's like the Star Wars version of Comic-Con.
Around the 4th, probably?
Around the 4th of May, yeah. It's like May 4th, 5th, 6th or something. And, you like how they worked that out. May the 4th be with you. So this, being the 4th anniversary, they're having this big panel with a bunch of different, alums from Star Wars. And there's a surprise announcement of a guy who has not been to any Star Wars stuff since 2003, which is Hayden Christensen.
Oh.
Anakin Skywalker.
Really?
And a lot of people are wondering, he's showing up at this panel out of nowhere. Is
he
it
gonna
just
come
for
back?
this, or is Lucasfilm bringing him back to maybe possibly use in a Darth Vader movie? Like a standalone Darth Vader movie. Because he's still used, his facial look is still used for the Darth Vader, like in all the cartoons, Clone Wars, and Rebels, and stuff like that.
And as much as the Star Wars fandom shits on his portrayal of young Vader, if they went with a different actor, I think that would be even worse.
I agree, and the great thing about this is that he really doesn't have to do much, because if they did use him, it would just be for a couple shots, maybe where he's in his meditation chamber outside of his mask.
Right. Other than that,
They're not. I guarantee you 100% he would not be the guy in the suit on screen. It'd be whoever they used for Rogue One. It'd be whatever stuntman they used to play Darth Vader in Rogue One. It'd be James Earl Jones doing the voice.
Yep.
And the only time you would see Hayden Christensen would maybe be 3 or 4 shots in the movie if he's like in his meditation chamber without his mask, or he's something happens undergoing something in his mask.
Unless they had some
knocked off,
flashbacks to the before days.
maybe something like that. So his part would be very small, which I think would be all right.
I
I'd
heard
be
his
cool
part
with
is
that.
pretty small.
Yeah.
Probably why he throws a fit.
What
I
else?
think that's why he was so upset.
Yeah.
I mean, why else would you go to the dark side?
That's why I'm so
Small numbers.
zen.
What else Star Wars is coming out this summer for the anniversary is Disneyland's Star Wars
Star Wars
section
Land is
going to
opening
be
up.
opening up. It looked.
I
mean,
think
it didn't.
I think it comes out in 2018.
I thought it was going to be. I could have swore the sign said that it was going to be done by this summer, but I could be wrong.
I think it was 2018.
We're
that
just
they
there, and
said.
it doesn't look
Yeah.
close to done.
By the time
so-
you watch this or hear this,
It'll probably
it might
be
already
done.
be open.
But yeah, that Star Wars line looks badass.
Yeah.
I believe it's 2018. Don't quote me on that.
I'm
but
wondering if
pretty
they're going to
sure.
move all the Star Wars stuff they already have. Or if
I
they're
think
gonna
they're
have-
going to leave Star Tours is staying where it is because they're adding their own new rides over there. There's going to be like one where you get to take control of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
And then
like,
a couple
how
other
awesome
things.
would it be a ride where you're on the speeder bike going through
Like
the
that would
trees
be
and stuff?
badass.
Oh my god!
They do for a half second during Star Tours.
Yeah, for a little bit because the
They
ship
does the
goes
little
down there.
Yeah.
I was
They
thinking
could do it.
actual, like,
Yeah,
two
they
or
could do it
four
along
person ride.
the lines of last time we went not too long ago too. We also went to Universal Studios and we did the Harry Potter ride where you're on the broomsticks.
I haven't done that yet, but that looks
See,
badass.
and that was kind of badass, and I could see them kind of doing something where you're kind of on a speeder bike. That'd be really cool with the way they
Yeah.
can do the screen in front of you and the movement and stuff.
I was
that could be
thinking
badass.
a legit coaster.
Yeah, and just
That would be just
That would
you
be
just
bad.
sit on the
and you just
bike and it straps you in, and you're
just through the trees. That would be badass. But yeah, so Hayden Christensen's coming back to the Star Wars for the first time since 2003. Could mean more, it could not.
I don't know if my voice has any weight to it because I didn't hate him as young Vader in the original trilogy. I know it could have probably been better, but
I didn't hate him as
I'm
the
not a
character. I just didn't like how it was written.
Yeah, I don't know if it was his fault or if it was because of the writing.
Yeah,
I
was
would
it
say,
the
I
script?
don't think he did a bad job.
See,
I just think
it could be the script. It could also be the directing. I mean, the director's telling him, "This is how I want you to play this part." No,
Right.
let's reshoot that. Let's have you say this
Or
way.
no, that was way too dark. Let's do it like more whiny.
Yeah, let's make you cry a little bit more. You didn't cry enough.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that was another big news drop there. For what I've heard.
I
from
still
the
think
last
The Rock
couple
would be a
weeks.
good Vader.
Yeah, why not, man? Didn't you see Vader? Rock bonding someone.
Hell yeah.
The
Force
Vader
Stifler.
elbow, the Force elbow.
Take his mask off and do the eyebrows.
Yeah.
He
That's what they
forced-
need Hayden Christensen for. You have to do
Yeah.
that.
He
The
force
Empire's
elbows
elbow.
you. Instead of doing the choke, he's all. And they just- that'd be great.
But yeah, that's what I had to talk about there.
Heck yeah. Look forward to anything Star Wars.
Oh
Really.
yeah,
I mean,
like I'm so stoked for Rogue One coming out. Like
Yeah.
I'll buy that and watch it multiple times.
that might be one of the first DVDs I bought in the last 10 years
You
or
should
so.
go with Blu-ray.
I would
No,
go Blu-ray
DVD.
too if I was you.
It's all about the gritty hardcore. It's
The fuzziness.
when everybody was going to tapes and CDs, records had the depth.
The scratchiness
The
to it.
depth,
You gotta have that.
I honestly, I've almost strictly bought digital. And now, I mean, Google Play. And
Well, I mean,
shit.
now when you go, you can't buy one.
Right.
If you go and buy the Blu-ray, you get the DVD and you get the digital copy of everything. You can't just go and buy a Blu-ray anymore, which pisses me off because I don't want the fucking DVD. I don't have a DVD player. I have a Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
I don't want the DVD
eBay.
copy. But you can't buy it without the DVD copy being included,
Yeah,
as
usually
well
it
as the
just ends
digital.
up getting given
And
away.
then what I end up doing is I get home and I put the digital
It's
on
like,
my
sell it to me
Voodoo,
for
and then
$8
I watch it
instead.
digitally instead of
Yeah.
on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't I just buy this? I just like it on the shelf, I guess. Is
Yeah.
why I don't buy it just
There's something to
Voodoo
be said
straight
about
off.
console gaming, DVDs, whatever. Having the actual physical case
On the
is
shelf,
something.
to look up and see my Blu-ray collection is growing.
Right on. But anyway, the Cantina scene is probably another Boba Fett-esque. Very little screen time, but everybody remembers it. And
It's always rebuilt everywhere, too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it might have been just the music. Maybe
Oh yeah,
more than the characters or whatever. See?
Yeah,
See? Everybody.
Frigrin
Off
Dan
the top
and
of
the
your head.
band
Yeah.
was the name of the band that played it. They were all bits, if I remember correctly.
Nice.
But yeah, you get that shot just going through of all the different races. That
Yeah.
like lets you know, wow, this is a big galaxy. Look at all these different aliens. Who are these guys? Who's that wolf-looking man?
Then, do you think they would have all gotten along? Really?
If they were all the criminals. hanging out in
Alcohol,
the
and they're
bar,
all I mean, they're in a seedy bar on a criminal-run planet. They're
Probably
all
not in the
smugglers
high-end-
and shit.
Not in the high-end neighborhoods
Yeah.
of the galaxy, but in the
But yeah, I
shitholes,
mean the shitholes like that. Yeah, I mean when you get to the because like if you, in the expanded universe and the books and stuff, you do get the higher end where it's more like race specific. You know, we don't like your kind around here, type
Like
thing.
indoor, except for Wookiees?
Yeah, exactly.
Look door.
So
Door.
they get that more where it's a lot of like humans first, down with the animals, blah blah blah, stuff like that.
That seems
But in
legit.
a little seedy bar like that, you're getting drunk. You're in between hauling of illegal cargoes.
That usually increases the chances of confrontation.
Well, we saw someone got his arm chopped off, so I mean
touche,
that happens.
touche.
1 in 12 systems.
In there.
Speaking of music, what are you guys' favorite covers of all time?
I have a really nice comforter. It's,
Okay. Just keep you warm?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about DeVay's.
Okay, I'm speaking
Is
All
there
about
anything
the
that
cover
washes your
songs
butthole?
where somebody takes an original song and then makes it their own.
Is there any Duvet songs? Because I would like those.
Possibly. It sounds like a Hall & Oates kind of thing.
That would be very Hall & Oates-ish.
I like my duvet.
If I need to wash my butthole, I just get in the shower. I don't need nothing fancy duvets.
Man, you've never lived. You've never lived.
I don't know. It'd be hard to name a favorite per se, but
Not necessarily favorite, but just
Mine's
some
not
that,
going to be a fair. I can throw
some
out
that really
some,
you
yeah.
like. It's almost sacrilegious to say, "Oh, it's better than the original," and I've gotten into
Fist fights?
not fist fights per se,
Slap
but
fights?
sword fights.
but sword fights. Yes,
Just the tip?
with a couple guys that complain that like Axl Rose's "Knocking on Heaven's Door."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he butchered that. It doesn't sound anything like the original. it's
It
not
doesn't have to
supposed
sound like the original, yeah.
It's making your own. And, like, my argument was, okay, that artist, and I use that literally, that artist made art. It happened to be music this time, but it's art. And you appreciated it. Because of the meaning of the song, the words that touched you. And a lot of people would not necessarily listen to that original version to be touched. But someone taking it and making it completely their own and not like the original
gives it new life.
Gives it new life, gives that message, that art to a whole different audience. And I'm completely fine with somebody like Dynamite Hack.
I love cover songs.
Well, plus
like,
it's not
and that's what I love. Oh, Dynamite Hack with Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. That's one of mine right there.
But it's great.
Dynamite Hack, Boys in the Hood is so well done.
When people complain about them, it's as though if you cover Boys in the Hood, then you're not allowed to listen to the original one anymore. It goes away.
Right.
You know, that's not how it is.
No.
If you don't like the new version, just stick to listening to the old version. It doesn't take it away.
And I listen to both. I think they're both excellent. I mean, like, I'm rocking some freaking NWA, and then, if I'm in a completely different mood, I can listen to Dynamite Hack's version.
And, we are very, very big fans of NWA. They changed music. They were the first storytellers of the urban black community and everything. And it gave the voice to a different demographic
that didn't have a voice out there.
And so we really, really, really loved the original, of course. Easy is definitely on my Mount Rushmore of rap artists. But Dynamite Hack did a really good job. And as a fan of the original, I look at this and say, that's really cool that somebody liked that song as much as I did. Enough to make it their own.
Brought it to the radio.
Yeah.
When I hear cover, or when I think of cover songs, the first one that comes to my head is Ring of Fire. Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire. Because it's been covered by a billion different artists.
A lot.
But, and I'm one of those, I mean, I love the original, but almost every cover version I've heard, I really enjoy. So it's one of those that you can cover it a billion times and change it from almost any genre of music, and it's great. I love it.
My favorite is Pentatonics. It's a pretty much a cappella group. They have some strings periodically and stuff, but they did a really good job of it. But I think all they do is covers, and they do some really good jobs.
They do the...
that's all they... I don't think they have anything original.
Yeah, my favorites from them are... they do a really lot of good Christmas songs, but Jolene, they actually had Dolly Parton come in and sing it with them. That was awesome.
So far, my favorite cover of that song was dang it, the hell's her name? Miley Cyrus.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I love her cover of Jolene.
I have heard it. It's not bad, actually.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think it came on the radio one time, and me and my wife heard it. I think we were like, "Who's covering this?" It wasn't bad. We were surprised it was Miley when we saw it.
You know what one of my favorite versions of Jolene is? Somebody took a record and played it at the slower speed, and it sounds like somebody covering her, but it's Dolly Parton singing it.
Oh, but
it's just slowed down.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different song.
About murdering people and the devil and stuff?
Not at all.
No, that's backwards.
But,
talk about just slow.
But it really gives you an appreciation to how good of a singer she really was.
That you can slow it down and she's still hitting the notes and the marks and everything.
The trills and stuff, and it was really, really good.
Speaking of Jolene, we have a local artist in the Phoenix area, Laura Walsh. I just watched her perform in Maricopa on Saturday night and covered Jolene, and she is pretty damn amazing too. She does a bunch of covers, original music and stuff, but one of the first ones she played that just really caught my attention was Jolene, and I think it takes a real special voice to cover that song. That's not something.
Yeah. That's not an easy one for sure. For sure. Another one that I really liked is the cover of Hey Ya by Obadiah Parker.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man, that's a great cover of what's already a good song.
I love it when artists take like a high energy song and just bring it down.
Yeah, he brought it total acoustic, just him and the guitar, and just slowed it down.
Yeah.
And man, was that a great cover?
Yeah, Josh showed me that, and I was blown away. I was like, really
that's
good.
an amazing cover.
I don't think I've heard that one.
You need to check it out. It's one of the best covers, in my opinion.
It's funny. Like one of my favorite things to do, music wise, is sit around at night when I'm bored and go on YouTube and just listen to the No Names sing covers. And sometimes you'll find them that are just amazing. Sing a lot better than the originals.
The
sometimes,
originals?
in my opinion.
Right.
But yeah, it's. I mean, these days it's kind of. Sometimes that's as famous as you're going to get, no matter how good you are as YouTube. But I mean, there's some really good singers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of YouTube, band we met via YouTube, The Animal and Me. Just about every cover that they throw out is really, really good. I don't always agree with their choice in songs because they are very, I don't know, very topical or on point with current music. And I don't listen to a lot of radio now other than country because that's what's on at work. But they just did a cover of Never Gonna Give You Up, almost as a kind of April Fool's cover. And it was so good. It jumps up there with my one of my favorite songs, and the video is just them dressed all 80s, and Laura's in this super acid wash jacket, and Shane's wearing this trench coat and everything, and it's
nothing else.
Yeah, nothing else. And he shows us it's kind of cool. But it's really, really good cover. But they've done Wrecking Ball. You probably heard if you watched all of our videos. It's Ray Billings with Tombstone. I use that as the soundtrack for his video. And
one of my favorite recent covers of theirs is I can't think of the name of it, but the Paul Walker tribute song.
See You When You Get There. That's freaking Coolio. Tell you, we'll talk about it when. God damn.
Talk about it when your father gets home.
Something.
I can't think of the name of it, but
When I See You Again or something. Fuck.
I don't remember, but I really like that. I love how they go from like singing it almost original, and then throw the like death metal scream right in the middle of it kind of thing.
Shane's got a very good scream.
And a really good singing voice.
Yeah, it's amazing the songs that he actually chooses to sing in. You're like, holy shit, this guy's got a voice.
Yeah.
Another band that you don't really have to pick one out of their repertoire. Me First and the Gimme Gimmes is a cover band. Fat Mike from NoFX and a couple guys from Bracket and Lagwagon, I believe. Their whole thing was just making punk versions of songs.
See You Again.
And each album seemed to have a theme, like 60s or pop or whatever the case may be, and one of the best cover bands out there. It was
I agree.
I don't know if they still make music, but
I haven't heard them recently. But what about Weird Al?
I don't know if parodies count as covers.
Yeah, I don't think those are covers. Parody,
Almost.
because I mean, it's not. I mean, a cover, they do change it a bit to their own style sometimes, speed-wise and stuff, but they're not. I mean, Weird Al's
rewriting the whole song.
Completely rewriting
a Star Wars song or something.
Exactly. Sometimes it's not anywhere even near
Right.
the original song. It's just the beat and the intonations. So I wouldn't consider parody, as great as Weird Al is, parodies I wouldn't consider covers. One I had was Guns N' Roses, Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die.
That's an excellent
It's really
cover.
good. Going back to YouTube, Sam Sui is a guy I found on
Oh,
YouTube.
Amazing.
He's done so many good songs, but the song that made me really fall in love with him as an artist is Michael Jackson medley, where there's 5 of him on the screen and a beatboxer. And he does this, I mean, like, just to sing an a cappella version of a Michael Jackson song is awesome.
So he's like hitting all the different parts.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it's not just that, but he rearranged all these Michael Jackson hits into a mashup. So he actually arranged the song too, and did the whole harmonizing and mismatching verses and stuff. And it's just, if you haven't watched it, it's just a really, really good watch.
I'll have to check that out. That sounds good. I got a couple that my wife, when she heard that this was a topic, she started selling me with them. So for my wife Elena, a couple that she wanted out there. The Bird and the Bee covering Rich Girl by Hall & Oates.
Okay.
I haven't heard that.
She's a rich girl.
Yeah. Let's see. She had Smashing Pumpkins and the Dixie Chicks covering Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
That Dixie Chicks Fleetwood Mac was one that I almost put on my list. Yeah,
that was an excellent one. And the other one she had was the Deftones covering No Ordinary Love by Sade.
Did he say the Defcunts?
The Deftones.
Deftones.
I think he said Defcunts.
Did I say Deftones?
It's not the Mighty Mighty Deftones, because that's a ska band.
But yeah, those were the ones that she's like, you gotta say these ones, because otherwise I'll kill you.
There's a girl that I listen to on YouTube. Her name's Sam Jotham, Jotham, I think. She hasn't put out any new ones real recently that I've seen, but she used to do some really good ones. Speaking of mashups, I love the mashups when they're done really well, but a lot of them aren't. But she did one, a Taylor Swift mashup, and it's freaking awesome. It flows really well. If you had never heard the songs, you wouldn't know it was separate songs. And I think, I think it's really good, but.
That's a testament to a good job of a mashup.
Of course, all the Taylor Swift songs are basically the same, but that helps.
Well, since you bring up Taylor Swift, I Prevail, a band that was touring with Animal and Me, they did a cover of Blank Space.
I have that one on my MP3 player.
Yeah.
It's literally one of my favorite songs. I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan at all, but it's such a good song. Standalone. You don't even have to know who Taylor Swift is, and it's just a really good
And that's
song.
one of the great things about covers. If they do really well, I mean, you can almost... There's some that I think when you hear, you associate with the cover more than you do with the original.
Right.
Just because the cover is done so well.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, like talking about the people that can't stand the cover artists, basically. I think I love every Taylor Swift song ever made. As long as she's not singing.
As long as she's not singing. The songs are great. Whoever's writing it, she writes some of them, but I'm sure she doesn't write all of them. But yeah, the songs are
if
great.
If they're whining and talking about a guy that broke her heart,
then
she wrote them.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's one of those cases where you're like,
she's
man,
the Hayden Christensen
this is
of country
really
music.
Great music, but just not having her do it.
But yeah, damn near every time I hear one of her songs covered, I'm like, that shit's amazing. And then
what is that?
I listen to the original and I'm like, oh, yeah. Let's stick with the covers.
And I gotta throw I'm Real out there, because anytime Helen and I went to karaoke, we would duet that song. But Starting Line did a version of it that was
better than your guys'.
Nobody's better than
That's what I thought.
But it's a
that'll
really
be the next YouTube video right here.
There we go.
Their cover.
We can do that. Yeah. Starting Line did a cover of I'm Real by J-Lo and Ja Rule, and it was really good. This is kind of big stretch on genre to genre.
Yeah.
But Iron Horse did a song on an album, Fade to Bluegrass. It's a cover of Metallica's Sanitarium.
Interesting.
And
I would definitely be interested in hearing that.
It's such a good song. And, like, I never realized how deep the song Sanitarium really is until I heard that bluegrass version.
Yeah. Until you hear it slow and clear.
Until you hear it slow. Yeah, it's not all.
And I'm like, holy shit, he can really write a song.
You usually sing along with Metallica like,
you're like, this is an awesome song. I don't know what they're saying. Yeah.
But yeah, just YouTube Fade to Bluegrass and Sanitarium should pop up.
I definitely gotta check that out.
Really awesome. Cool. Speaking of Metallica, though, their cover of Turn the Page by Bob Seger.
Oh, that's a good one.
Really good. That's another one that I think was
What about
the
Metallica Pokemon cover that's been all over YouTube and shit lately?
I keep meaning to click on it, but I'm never in a situation or time frame to be able to click on it.
I mean, by no means is it a classic that should go down in the books or anything, but it's pretty kind of interesting.
Well, I liked when they covered Zelda.
Yeah.
They covered the original Zelda theme song.
Yeah,
that was
badass.
Too,
that was a long time ago, but that was badass too. Just hearing Zelda with just the, electric guitar going at it. You're like, yeah.
Imagine how much more frustrating that game would have been if Metallica was the thing. Like, you get to a part where it's going too slow, and in the background you're just like, you can't bring yourself to like take the time to figure shit out. You know
You're like, I just gotta run.
Speaking of artists that kind of bring it back down and take it down to bare essentials and stuff, Disturbed did a song. You wouldn't expect them to do a toned down version after they did like Shout and stuff, where it was really like completely their music. Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel.
Really?
It wasn't done in a Disturbed version. They didn't make it their own.
Because that's such a mellow song to begin with. To try to go up tempo with it would have been crazy.
He didn't. It was one of those songs that kind of gave you goosebumps. It was really, really good. And another, not so much cover, kind of cover. Twisted Sister did a song, We're Not Gonna Take It, which was kind of a party, youth angst anthem. Well, Dee Snider was involved with a cancer charity. And he did kind of a cover of his own song.
I would consider it a cover, because he did what every cover person does, changes it, brings it to a new tempo.
Different tempo.
Yeah,
he stripped it down to just him and a piano. Yeah. And it was beautiful.
It was awesome. I love that song.
I know cancer awareness and everything
completely changed.
It's huge for us, and that probably, if nothing else, made me click it. But yeah, it was a completely different
song.
Same words.
Totally different feeling than what the original. Just fight.
Yep.
And it was a different kind of fight. It just completely changed the song. But Limp Bizkit did but several good covers.
Yeah.
Faith was good. The Home Sweet Home / whatever the other song was pretty good. But my favorite cover song that they did was Behind Blue Eyes, which was, I believe, a song by The Who.
The Hoove?
Not the Who. Not the Who. The Who.
Like an owl.
Who. Which, I don't know why I always associated that song with Dean Martin or Frank Sinatra. It seemed like a really like lounge acty type song, but there's a song that you brought up.
So it's two musical artists. You know, the Umbrella by Rihanna. The Umbrella's under my umbrella is kind of annoying when she sings it, but Mandy Moore did an acoustic cover to it, and it is just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And then I also have another person that I used to listen to all the time, and I haven't really seen her post very many covers. Maybe I'm not looking for them, but Lisa Sinta.
Okay.
Lisa Simpson is all saxophone?
Yeah.
Once she did that, they had that cassette that came out. What was it, The Simpsons Singing the Blues? Remember that?
John and I walked around with that all the time.
Right, me too. I don't know, man. I rocked that. Me and Alfred Partita.
People dancing.
We used to rock the hell out of Simpsons Singing the Blues, and Lisa had one in there. Yep. Was it? Wow, which one was it that she sang?
It was definitely a blues song.
Oh, I can't remember.
But
I'm gonna download that. Good.
I was just gonna go with my number one. That, from my research, is a lot of people's number one. So you might want to wait until after.
I go number one a lot.
Oh, nice.
Another one that I listen to pretty regularly. That's still, it's been around a while now, but is Uncle Cracker's Drift Away.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's
a good one.
That's probably one of them. I mean, I'd say I'd probably have to say I like it more than the original.
It's funny. Uncle Cracker makes me wonder if he has a DJ. I hope that he goes solo, because Kid Rock was okay. Uncle Cracker was his DJ. Mm-hmm. I like Uncle Cracker a lot more than I like Kid Rock. So if Uncle Cracker had a DJ that went solo, I'd probably be in love with him. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I want to see. We went to, what the hell concert were we at?
The one with music?
No, Miranda Lambert. Miranda Lambert and Dierks Bentley and all those. They had, in between acts, instead of having absolutely nothing, they had a little small stage, and they had a group called the Jukebox Mafia. It was a little local band from I don't even remember where, Mississippi or something, down in that end of the world. But
it must not have been here.
All they did was just play. They were just a cover band, but they played kind of like, gave it that like kind of blues twang to every song they played, and they were really, really good. But best I can tell, they haven't been mainstream enough to put out any music. They just supposedly they were from Nashville, I think maybe. But the story she said is that she was literally in a bar and heard them playing, and she's like, "You guys are freaking awesome! You need to come on tour with me." So they went on tour with her out of the clear blue, and then just played sets in between the big artists just to fill in the blanks instead of having like elevator music going on in the background and shit. But they were amazing. I look every once in a while. I look for them, and the only thing I can find is like on YouTube. You'll find videos that people recorded with their cell phone and shit. But that's it.
They're not putting anything out on their own.
Not that I can find.
My number one is a cover of a Nine Inch Nails song done by Mr. Johnny Cash. Hurt.
That is a good cover.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh my God!
You have to hear that. That is. It is so good. So good.
It, in my opinion, the best Johnny Cash song, above Ring of Fire, and it just. I know it's not his song. He didn't.
But
write
the
it.
way he plays that, and the way he the emotion that's behind that song when he sings it, man, it hits you. It hits you. It's so well done.
Like, it felt more what the words are saying of the song than when Nine Inch Nails, which is kind of a bit of a, what would you call them, like industrial type band that is always like Marilyn Manson and stuff, kind of on the darker side of things anyway. When he said those words, it felt like, oh my God, this guy's cutting himself.
Yeah. It was like goth before goth kind of thing.
Like the meaning that he gave, like it felt like he gave meaning to the words, the way he sang them and stuff, and just the resonance from it.
I know I've heard it, but I can't place it off the top of my head. I'm going to listen to it again.
So well done.
Yeah, it kind of validated myself, I guess, when that was my number one. And I did a little bit of research to try and hope that I didn't miss any big ones. But that was number one on just about
a lot
every
of
list
other
I
lists.
found. Yeah.
It's up there. It's, if you haven't heard it, YouTube it, Google it. It's an excellent, excellent cover that just hits all the right notes.
I'll try and put some links to a lot of these videos on YouTube when the video's posted.
I wish I could think of the example off the top of my head right now, and I can't, but I think it's funny when you hear a song and you're like, fuck, that song is amazing, and then you find out it's been covered 100 times and they weren't original at all. It's
like you're hearing a cover of it, and they're not the only ones who've covered it.
Yeah, right. Like somebody, I'm sure there was plenty of much younger crowd that heard Uncle Cracker's Drift Away and thought he wrote a fantastic song, you know what I mean?
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
What about Trivia's?
Okay, so let me tell you guys a story.
Too bad Brian's not here.
Yeah.
Just prefacing that.
We can all just shout fuck a bunch of times so it feels like...
Oh, yeah.
Fuck!
I was thinking that without
Really
him here. I
loud.
was like, I need to up my profanity, because usually I'm very profane, but he makes me dial it
up
back.
your fucks.
Fuck
And
up,
I need
man.
to fuck up the fuck ups.
Fuck up.
Noinch.
Noinch.
So let me tell you about my fuck up. So
She
I came
fucked
up
up.
with this whole list of things, and I made little signs and everything else, and I left it on my desk at work.
It's in Casa Grande right
So it's in Casa Grande right now. So we're gonna cheat.
It'll be good
we're
for
gonna
next time.
play.
We're going to go to Casa Grande and play.
now. This is where Brian comes in. There's an app for Never Have I Ever.
So on
That's
this app,
hilarious.
Never Have I Ever, we are gonna say if we have never,
Never?
or
if
we
I
have.
have. That's going to have to be
Okay.
round table. We don't have the signs to hold up.
Yeah, so we don't have the cool sign. So sunbathed partially or totally naked.
I'm not sure that I've ever sunbathed at all.
No. That'd be a no for me. I've never sunbathed.
Never have I ever, but the closest I've ever come was I was swimming in a pool by myself one time and pulled my trunks down.
Yeah?
Just, it felt completely different.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
naked
the only
lots of
time I'd
pools,
say
but
I
it was always
sunbathed
in the
would be
dark.
like laying out on the beach. When I go to the beach, you're just laying out there
I mean,
chilling.
Unless
I
you're
don't have
wearing...
the see. I don't have the patience. If I lay down, I'm sleeping. If I'm at the beach, I'm doing something.
were you wearing shorts?
Mm-hmm.
Then you were
then you were
partially
yeah.
naked.
I guess if you
True.
could count me sitting on the beach in swim shorts as partially naked, but for a guy, I don't know. No, I'd have to say no on that.
I have.
Woo!
Played spin the bottle. I have.
Yes.
Yes.
Played spin the bottle.
Never have.
had my
Screw you
parents
guys.
ask me if I'm a virgin.
Nope.
No.
Never
No.
had that conversation.
No. Lied to protect a cheating friend.
Yes.
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 Cheating at like gambling or
I don't know. It
Both.
Just says,
Yes, have I ever.
Yes, I have.
In his voice a couple times.
Yeah, sure, he's here. Hold on a second. Let me go get him. Hey, babe, how's it going? Having a good time with John over here.
There's been a couple times that I had a friend that I would have conversations with his girlfriend, and she had no clue that it was
That it was not him.
Yeah,
Wow. Ultimate cover.
yeah.
Did Danny
that
answer?
was yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I said
Okay.
yes. I was like, did I? Yeah.
Next one, faked an orgasm.
We're guys. We can't really do that unless we spit on your back.
I have.
Really? You got bored or what? Really?
Yes, it happened. It
Wow.
happened once. And I was just like, I want this to end. It's not actually going to end anytime soon for me. So I'm going to pretend that it ended.
Okay.
And I think I was convincing enough. But yeah, I had to once because it really was just not going anywhere for me.
Wow.
So this says made out under the stairs, but I'm sure it's supposed to mean made out under the stars. I have.
I've made out under the stairs, but not under the stars.
I've made out outside before, so yes.
Yeah,
and it
I'm
was at
guessing.
night.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, you would have to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, should skip that one.
Dated someone with a twin?
Wanted to.
Not that I know of.
Wanted to.
I did, but her twin lived nowhere near or in the state, so I never even met her. So it
It had-
didn't really count.
As far as I know, it had nothing to do with her being a twin.
Like,
I've
I knew she
never-
had a twin sister, but she didn't live anywhere near. I never met her once during the relationship. It was a really short relationship, so
Oh, man.
it was a twin, but it was never that like, oh, I confused them one time type
Right.
situation.
Most of my relationships are pretty short. 30 minutes.
Give or take.
Yep.
Kissed
Sometimes
in the
they're
rain.
even with somebody.
Yes.
Kissed in the rain?
Kissed in the rain.
Yes.
I don't
I
think
have.
so.
Yeah. Not the whole upside down
Almost.
Spider-Man in the rain, but I've kissed in the
If
rain.
I wasn't with some friends, it probably would have happened at Country Thunder.
How about gotten so sick that I swore off a particular type of alcohol? Tequila, anyway?
Not
You
only
better
have
say
I, but I
yes.
still do.
Yeah.
Not even a
I have-
particular type. Anything lemon flavored, she can't drink.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
But-
With
And
me,
tequila too, but
so-
not because I drank so much. I literally got food poisoning from it.
from tequila. Wow.
Yep.
I actually used to get sick every time I even smelled tequila.
Same here.
I've built up a little bit of
Immunity?
acceptance of it. Yeah.
I
See,
got.
I haven't tried it. I no, actually, you know what, I have because I've had it in mixed drinks and stuff, and I'm fine with it now. But I got way too much graduation night. When we graduated high school, big party at my house, and I drank way too much of it. And after that, I couldn't even smell it without throwing up.
I
all
literally
the time.
walked into a bar. 2 minutes into the bar, before I even had a first drink, my friend hands me a shot of tequila and says, "Split this with me because I don't want the whole thing." And I was like, "Okay." So she literally drank half the shot, handed the other half to me. I took it. I was in bed sick for 3 days, and so was
Jesus.
she.
What the
I literally
heck?
got food poisoning. off
I
of it.
hallucinated off of tequila one time.
What did you hallucinate?
We were out at a desert party. And yes, it might not have been tequila, but
We all almost died that night.
I've never been a fan of tequila at all. And I wasn't a big beer drinker, but it was the lesser of two evils.
That's what beer drinkers drink when they're not drinking beer.
Touche. So I would glug, 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 glug the tequila and then slam a beer to kill the taste.
Uh-huh.
And so I was beyond trashed almost immediately. Well, an acquaintance of ours brought a one-hitter. And he's like, "Dude, you want a couple hits?" And I was so far gone, I'm like,
Why not?
fuck it, why not? So there might have been a little bit something more than weed in that one-hitter. I don't know. But at one point, I'm like,
It might not have even been there.
Then,
who
yeah.
knows? Yeah.
Like, so far, you're on tequila, you're on beer, and you're done marijuana. So
Yeah.
That
And
might have been laced.
maybe. I tell Danny, hold my beer after hold on. And I go out in the desert and I yak. And upon finishing yakking,
Upon finish.
I'm in a bathroom. 100% I am in a fucking bathroom. And I'm like, all right, so I don't know why, because I would never do this to anybody, but I grabbed their towel to clean up. And I'm all wiping my face and cleaning up and stuff, and that's probably not good for the podcast, putting my hand in front of my face. But about probably 20 or 30 seconds into wiping my face clean, I realize that it's Palo Verde needles, and I'm out in the desert.
Oh, shit.
But for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, I was in somebody's bathroom. Yeah. So, but that being said, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, I made a chelada, and I wanted to be a little bit stronger than just a beer and clamato. So I added a couple shots of tequila, and it was delicious. It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Making a comeback.
So
you know how people, as funny as it is, because we get peer pressured, in my world at least, we get peer pressured more as adults than we did as kids for alcohol and shit. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, John can attest to this. People will always, forever, take a shot with me. No. Take a shot with me. No.
Oh, yeah.
Take
you
a shot.
You can't go out without being asked to take a shot.
Take a shot. Take a shot.
go out on your birthday.
So,
good Lord.
Here, my new thing is I get so sick of people doing it. If somebody buys me a shot and sets it down, forcing me to take it, I grab it and go like that, throw it on the floor and set it back down in front of them.
Usually I take it for him because I can't stand seeing alcohol get thrown
alcohol
away.
abuse.
So,
no alcohol abuse.
It's amazing.
But I know he's going to do it, so I just hand it to me.
You'll get people to stop buying the shots if you start throwing their $6 shot on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
And apparently people don't really like someone else drinking a shot that they buy for somebody. So that works too.
That bothers them. Like, hey, I bought you this shot.
They hand him the shot, he hands it to me, I shoot it, and they're like,
what the fuck, man?
Speaking of buying somebody drinks, I remember we were at the bar one night and I walked up to a guy that I had bought a beer a few hours before, and I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, he's ordering. And I'm like, hey, get me one too. You owe me from last time, remember? And he's like, oh yeah, what are you drinking? I'm like, Bud Light. Okay, and I look up. It wasn't the guy I thought it was. Some fucking dude I didn't know. And he was so drunk, and you could tell he's like, shit. I must have.
All right, yeah.
Got this random guy to buy me a beer. And he's like, here you go. And I was like,
Thanks, bro.
Helen gets random guys to buy her beers all the time.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but that's from bathroom action. That's different.
What do we have next?
Know the entire Pokemon song.
No.
Isn't there how much of the Pokemon?
There's lyrics.
It's got a full song.
I don't know.
I used to when the cartoon was on.
She's skipping more than you see.
Everybody's done that. Done it on the kitchen counter.
Almost. I couldn't bring myself to because her sisters were asleep in the living room that was basically the same room.
Not the kitchen counter per se, but you know how it swings out into like a breakfast bar? I've done it on the breakfast bar part, but not the actual kitchen counter.
Kind of short.
Yeah, I can see that being a problem. He's like, is there a step stool in here?
We're adults, of course.
Held a $100 bill.
We're adults, yes we have.
Gotten carded for anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not in like 20 years.
Said,
Not
what the hell?
What the hell?
That's a stupid one.
I gotta say, what the hell to that one?
Lied about my sexual experiences.
I have never lied about my sexual experiences.
Laughed so hard I peed or almost.
I'm almost right now.
This is a good one. Taking the pregnancy test.
We have with iced tea.
Oh
with iced tea.
Really?
Did
you dip it or pour it?
Pour it.
Okay.
But they came back positive.
Yeah.
What?
We had a little bit of a crime spree in our childhood.
Yeah.
And
you stole pregnancy
test. Everybody does it, right?
Everybody steals pregnancy tests.
And Danny had some
a
iced
lot
tea,
of them
so we
for
wanted
some reason. I don't remember.
We wanted to see and condoms. We had that tractor covered in condoms. But we wanted to see if his tea was pregnant, and it was.
Oh my gosh. Next one is shave my balls.
Yes.
Not my balls. The above part, whatever you call that
dick
pouch. But
all of it.
No, I have not done
pouch
that.
above your balls?
He's a kangaroo. That's where Joey goes.
It's where I keep my drugs.
Been proposed to?
No.
These are dumb. Had a crush on a guy or girl before the age of 12.
Yes.
Who doesn't?
My first crush was like, what, first grade?
Everybody I have a crush on is over 12.
Putted on Crocs?
Putted. Like
putting
on the
I've never golfed in Crocs. No.
I have not golfed in Crocs, nor have I ever put them on.
Thought I were or wanted to be a vampire?
No.
Had sex at a funeral?
No.
Tasted ranch dressing?
Of course. This is a
from
dumb
like
ad.
Europe or something?
had an argument about the best type of beer?
Actually, yes.
I've had
Probably.
argument. Yeah, that happens quite a bit.
Sucked a finger?
Sucked a finger? My own?
I don't know,
Pretty
but I've had my
regularly.
toe sucked before.
Really?
Yeah, playing
How?
truth or dare in a pool.
Been shook down by a cop?
Yes.
Actually,
Quite a
I'm
bit.
usually one that doesn't. I hold the gun or paraphernalia or whatever because the cop frisks everybody, takes their statements and stuff, and then looks at me. Is what they're saying okay? Yeah. Like, okay, you guys go
Sadly,
home,
that's-
you go home.
True, too.
Wow.
Like, there's been a couple times that they got completely frisked, and I had a bottle of Jack and
Wow.
a gun in my jacket.
Made a prank call?
Jerked your boys all day.
Yeah.
Left a hickey on someone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fallen out of a window?
Yes.
No, but a friend of mine almost died because she did.
I've never fallen out of a window.
I've fallen in a few, too.
Yeah. Usually under my bed.
Yeah, I fell into window. I fell into windows like having to break into my own house because I locked myself out. So I'm crawling through a window and I fall going in over the counter and stuff. But I never fell out of a window.
Sneaking out of John's house back when I've fallen
After
in his
visiting
window
his
several
pouch?
times.
Yeah. Didn't touch my
I
couch.
don't really understand that. So.
Ran from a police officer?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, in
Yeah.
the Safeway parking lot. Ish.
Been approached by a hooker?
Yes.
Yeah.
On your wedding night.
Mm-hmm.
Had sex in a sleeping bag?
Yep.
No.
Not with a partner.
How to show. Oh my god. How. I
How
can't even
to
say it. Had to show how to help a guy unhook a bra.
What? That's a weird sentence structure.
I'm sure that's a girl.
I definitely
Question.
can say I've
Yeah.
never had to show a
I've
guy
never
how to
had-
draw.
What you do is you just...
Gotten a wrong number.
Yeah.
Done anything sexual in a toilet at school.
By myself?
Mm.
Like
Not
in
even
the
by
toilet?
myself. No.
I hope that means like in the bathroom, not in
Yeah.
the toilet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nah.
I don't even think I've
Hey
ever been in
baby,
a
want
stall
to get
at school.
swirly with me?
Farted in an elevator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Been in a hospital.
I've thrown
Yeah.
up.
Times.
Sung King
Yep.
karaoke.
Yeah. I've won. Undefeated karaoke champ at the Galloping Goose. Just
right.
saying.
You won $100 too, didn't you?
Ooh.
And
Nice.
80 the next time, I think.
Yeah.
Damn.
Had a friend turn fuck buddy.
Reverse. Had a fuck buddy turn
fuck?
friend.
Oh, sorry.
I've reversed
No.
had a fuck buddy turn friend.
I had an
But
almost
never the
fuck buddy
opposite
that I
way.
turned into a friend. My game is, like, negative.
Gotten hard to explain bruises.
No.
I don't really
Gone
bruise.
commando.
Yes.
The closest I've gone to commando is wearing silk boxers, which was a horrible idea in high school.
Really? You've never just gone
In high
commando?
school.
Mm-mm.
Really? I've had to a few times in my life.
Really?
Yeah. Well, maybe for like a couple of seconds in between like having to trash underwear or something and run into the room or whatever, but
No, yeah, I've had like full day commando a few times.
wow.
Just rocking it.
Got-
Gotta make sure I'm wearing some tighter shorts when I'm doing it though.
Something,
Not my
yeah.
normal loose
Boner and
ones.
sweatpants.
No,
I'm
not
outta here.
good.
Gotten a tattoo.
Not me.
Never, actually.
Look how it's
no.
spelled. A tattoo.
A tattoo?
A tattoo.
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 We're laughing at it, and it's not even that question.
Had someone puke on me.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Lied about my birthday just to get a free dessert and a funny little hat.
Free desserts, yes.
Yes.
No hats, but I've lied for free desserts or free meals.
Went drunk to prom.
No.
Nope.
Built a sandcastle.
Yes.
I don't know how people build sandcastles, honestly.
You take
No.
cups and
It
water
doesn't
and
work.
sand.
Fuck that shit.
Had your driver's license revoked.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I've had my driver's license revoked twice.
Yeah, me too. Twice.
When you're like 16.
My first time was 2 weeks after I got it.
Nice.
Talked my way out of a traffic ticket.
100.
Actually, yes. And I don't know if I should tell this story, but it's really cool.
So yes, you should.
Tell it.
I don't usually like name drop.
If it's really bad, we can cut
Okay.
it out. It's not live.
Okay. I worked a Memorial Day DUI task force. Well, I didn't work it. I rode along with Danny when he worked it up in the AJ area. And that's about enough of that story. Move on to the real story. Me and Willie went to Casa Grande to buy a video game one day, and his sister's car was the only thing available. So I'm like, yeah, I'll drive it, let's go. So me and him go in his sister's car that's registered in Florida, doesn't have insurance. The back window is blown out because somebody got in a fight at her house like a day or two before. I think it had a taillight out.
You really new to this fucking video game.
I mean, it was the most illegal vehicle I think I've ever driven. And I was speeding on the way home because I wanted to get back and play this video game. So, I'm driving along. You know, it was only like 70, 75, and a 65, but still, it was speeding. I get lit up, pull over. It's DPS. I'm like, shit. DPS.
Especially back then, they didn't give warnings.
No.
He says, step out of the vehicle, come back to the car, bring your license and registration. I'm like, this is possible registration, and here's my license? And he's going over it, running numbers and stuff, and grasping at straws. I'm like, did you work that detail at Memorial Day up in AJ? Like, yeah, I did. You rode with Richardson, didn't you? And out of the hundreds and hundreds of DPS officers in Arizona, it happened to be one of the three or four, that worked that detail. And it instantly went from, oh shit, to, hey, have you ever thought about being a cop? And, you know, he's telling me about some of the stuff and adventures that he's seen and stuff that he's done. And he's like, hold on, I'm going to fuck with your Fed real quick, watch this. And he went up and gave William this riot act about how he should buy me lunch because he could write William up for not wearing a seatbelt and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And it was just kind of funny. But, yeah, that straw I grasped at happened to
paid off.
Get me out of potentially several tickets.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I've always got hit. I never talked my way out.
I've gotten quite a few, too, that I didn't talk my way out of.
Yeah.
Crawled out of a bar?
No,
Crawled
but
into a bar?
It was always my goal to not get sick at a bar, and I almost succeeded, but you decided to line dance before you left, and
Yes.
I didn't make it. It was on the side of the building. It was outside in the parking lot, but I didn't make it.
I've made it to the
out
parking
of
lot
there.
a bunch of times, but I've never thrown up in the bar.
Yeah.
Lied about myself to get laid?
No, actually, I've done the exact opposite. Knew that it wouldn't get me laid, but I wasn't about to lie.
No, yeah, never had to go that route.
Nope.
Woken up at someone else's house?
Like,
Always.
Yeah.
shouldn't it preface it by, like, you didn't know how you
Didn't
got there?
know how you
Yeah.
got there because
I mean, never like surprisingly, like holy fuck or nothing, but
Yeah.
No, I've had surprising ones like where the fuck am I? Until I walk out and find someone who I know in the house and like, oh, this is whose house I'm at. I had that happen once.
Been fined for indecent exposure?
Nope.
Nope, but I know
Better
at least
not
3
around here.
people that have.
Wow.
Been told you have a booger?
Yes.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Possibly.
This one just likes to go without underwear. Drink hard liquor.
I've
yes.
never. That's stupid.
Never have I ever.
Hooked up with a family member?
Whoa, that's a hard no.
No.
Over from here.
Committed a felony and been caught?
Yes.
Felony, no.
Slept in a bed with more than 2 people?
Slept.
Slept,
Like
yes.
actually slept, yes.
I have kids.
Yeah, I was gonna
In the
say,
back of a pickup truck, yeah.
Oh my god.
She skipped it, but
She
yeah.
tried to skip that.
Licked a cut?
a what?
Yeah, my
Licked
own.
a cut.
Licked a cut?
Oh, cut. Probably. My own,
Okay.
not somebody else's.
I'm sure people are getting
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
tired of
enough.
this.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Anybody have anything else to add?
I have to pee.
Me too. Cool. So, until next time, same Aimless Adventure channel, same Aimless Adventure whenever I post it.
You are trying really hard to do this Batman tie-in here.
Maybe a little bit. Cool.
Not hard enough.
No, thank you guys.
Yeah, you guys have a good one.